It's over.
It's over?
It's over 8,000.
What? Wait, what?
There is a story so strange in its implications that it defies ordinary classification.
I don't care if you've been using laser eyes on these thoughts all night. If you up, smash that like button. Welcome to Black and the Black Times of Bitty. I'm your host, the Douglas Brothers, coming to you live and direct from the stack. Smoke me out, band, with that dang shit on my left. What shit?
I think I'm in love with Queen Maeve.
Ooh, on my far right, engineering on the one, the
Don't let her fuck you though, because she would definitely crush you.
In the middle, we got the oldest ninja in the world. Old ninja.
I think pimp, therefore I am.
This motherfucker. Last but not least, returning once again, your boy Blue.
I've been to the upside down world and it was Indiana. It was fucking weird out there, man.
Oh, man.
So weird. Oh my god.
God damn.
Roads went the wrong way. Cement trucks were going backwards. It was fucking weird. Houses with no fences. It was like an apocalypse or some shit.
Okay.
All right,
Full house.
let's we'll talk about that in a second.
All right.
I guess let's get through the beginning part. Listener of the week would be John Mulcahy. Sure, why not? First in the chat would be, I'm not sure yet because he didn't say shit yet. I know you're in there. Say hi or something. But it's gonna be too late because there's a delay.
Yes.
Moving on.
Old ninja, who we got? Pouring out malt beverages, wine. What we doing?
Sure, we can pour out some Cabernet
Fancy motherfucker.
for Miss Toni Morrison, famous novelist, activist. She is most famous for her book Beloved. Her biggest fan is Oprah.
Was it beloved or beloved? I'm sorry.
Is it Beloved?
Man, you got to do your research on Ninja.
I got it in my hand. I just looked down.
I thought it was I could be tripping.
It is Beloved.
See? Look at you fucking up.
That's a black author, right?
Yes. Oh no, I'm sorry. It is Beloved. I was right the first time.
Test,
So
test.
Well, fuck me.
yo,
Test,
feelings.
test.
Fuck me.
She also wrote Song of Solomon, Tar Baby, The Bluest Eye. Some of her work has been translated to, I believe, TV. I don't think feature-length film that I can think of. She's won Pulitzer Prize. She's been to the White House or whatnot. She's like a very, I guess, want to say before the Me Too movement. She would have been the spearhead, but she steps aside to that and focused on like empowering black women through writing.
Wasn't she a poet laureate or something like that? Poet laureate? Am I tripping? I don't see that in your...
No.
All right.
Pulitzer Prize winning, I see
Okay,
that for
alright.
fiction and whatnot. But I know her biggest fan was Oprah. Oprah loved her fictions, and she was 88.
Nice long
So,
life.
so she had a really long career. She's written a lot of work.
You know what's fucked up that I noticed that? Oh, I'm sorry. That we say a lot on this podcast. We always say like when they're a little older, you know, over 80. We usually say it's a good life.
Yeah.
You know what's gonna be crazy though is when we're fucking 80, we're gonna be pissed. You're
Yeah,
like,
no
God damn it,
shit.
I'm fucking dying here, full life. This is bullshit.
Freeze my body.
Every time I think about that, I'm like, fuck, you know what? I'm 40. I'm like halfway through my life cycle, maybe.
shit,
But consider I'm black, I probably got like maybe 25, 30 more years than me.
That's it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Oh, there it is. I missed it. She won a Nobel Prize for Literature. There it is. There you go.
Congrats.
R.I.P. to Toni Morrison. If you grew up in the 90s and you're black, you most definitely had at least one of her books in your house. At least one.
I'm sure there was something in my...
If you didn't have it, your mama had it.
Yeah.
For
I remember
sure.
having to read some of it.
Oh, in
one
school?
of those books
Oh,
for
yeah.
school.
She instantly became, like, required reading, like, real quick. Like, usually it takes decades. Like, you have to die first
And
for your work to be in school. Her stuff came out
and
real quick.
I want to say there was a movie for Beloved. or
I want to
Beloved.
say there was, starring Oprah,
Yeah.
but I don't remember if it was a Lifetime or if it was a theatrical release.
I feel like I even saw it. I can't remember. Anyway.
You don't even know?
I don't even know.
I think it.
I synced it.
I can check for you right now.
All right, we got a big ass show. Did anybody comment in the goddamn chat?
yeah, Warrior Fellow, what's going on? First in the
What's
chat.
up?
What up?
Also, Black Panther has arrived. He's up in there as well.
Nice.
Thank you for once again being repeat viewers and listeners.
Yes, we love you. All right, we got a whole squad, man.
Oh, yeah, whole crew forming
So-
Voltron.
It was a theatrical release with your boy Danny Glover. Sorry,
Okay.
but
That's the daddy, right?
uh,
I'm just kidding. I know he's not his fucking daddy. All right, someone's gonna get mad, furious and shit. Stop typing.
So before we move on to some of these hot button issues, we're gonna issue a quick RIP to the victims of the El Paso shootings, the Dayton, Ohio shootings, as well as the Chicago shootings, which everyone seemed to gloss over as well.
Well, so the problem with the Chicago shootings is that it literally happens every fucking weekend. So that's I'll get into it in a little bit, but like people are kind of numb with Chicago, and I think people are getting the same kind of numbness with mass shootings at this point. I mean, to be honest with you, because people get. I mean, there's probably been at least over 300 people killed. I'm just guessing in Chicago this year alone, at least. I mean, you can probably look it up.
Conservative.
Yeah, it's probably and way more than that's been shot. So it's a problem that America has become totally fucking oblivious to. They become totally numb to. Basically, America doesn't give a fuck anymore about Chicago. Yeah. As far when it comes to like the shootings there, and you even notice that even major news networks they never even. I mean, they'll put in like a story about it, like how many people got killed over a weekend, but it's in sort of like such a flippant fucking way. I mean, these are human lives, but they're not bringing it like enough attention to it. But at this point, I don't know if attention is a problem because it's happening so often and nobody's doing shit about it. And it's basically when you go to Chicago, it's so fucking weird because it's only like a couple of blocks where there's like this many people dying. So if you look at like the overall like FBI crime statistics, Chicago's not even on. It's not that high as far as murders go. But if you look at the fucking just as far as like an area goes on the planet, it's got to be fucking high up there because it's only a couple of fucking blocks where hella people just died.
Yeah, well, so Chicago right now, since July 27th, their murder count is sitting at 293.
It's awful, no doubt about it. I just want to say this really quickly. It's primarily the south side and the west side in terms of large, and they're not tiny neighborhoods. These are pretty large neighborhoods.
But it's not the whole city.
Certainly not.
Because if you visit Chicago and like the downtown areas and like the parts where people normally go to for like tourism,
yeah,
you're not going to see high violence. It's going to be a normal city.
I was just there like 2 weekends ago when I went to Indiana. But yeah, I mean, the city's great. It's like being in San Francisco, except it's flat and clean, basically. Like there's barely any homeless people. But like
shit
to
on
think,
the street.
Yeah, to think like maybe a mile and a half south from there, like it's
the fucking
people
Wild
being
West.
fucking people being fucking murdered. It's fucking what is it called? Chirac, right? Is that what they-
Chirac.
Yeah.
More people have died in Chicago than have died in Iraq over the same time frame. Like by a lot.
Yeah. And St. Louis, New Orleans, they're Oakland has problems. Oakland's right in our backyard and has had plenty of murders. So yeah. And none of that's overshadowing shittiness and obviously Dayton and El Paso, and then the week before we had Gilroy.
Yeah, the thing about the El Paso shooter actually put out a manifesto. I had
was it like 4 pages or some shit.
Yeah, and a lot of it like I didn't get to read the whole thing because it's hard to find now because I know that media outlets don't like putting out manifestos now. Yeah. But at the same time, it's kind of important that we understand where this guy was coming from. And from what I saw, like some of the clips from, the guy basically was parroting shit that both conservative media and the president have said. Like they used their exact words on how to like classify illegal immigrants. So they say that there's infestation, invasion, and all this shit. And it's like this should be a red flag for America. Like our president was directly influenced a fucking mass shooter. Mm-hmm. Like what the fuck?
I think a few of them. Then the Gilroy guy, then he also had comments about Trump and stuff too.
It's really sickening and it's exhausting. I wish I was here last week to hear Old Ninja's like sort of firsthand, I guess, experiences with it because obviously that touched him. I was sort of involved with one years ago. In Louisiana. Right. So it's. I am unfortunately numb to these fucking things now. And a lot of people sort of pinpoint it to, and I think I personally pinpointed to the Sandy Hook one. After that one, and I felt that there's no change coming or whatever when someone can just walk into a fucking elementary school and just start mowing down people. And I was like, all right, unfortunately, this is going to be the fucking moment where maybe we can get some discussion on both sides and come to a nice compromise. And we're just like, nah, fuck it.
Nothing.
2 weeks later.
Well, to me, it goes back to Columbine. Like for me, it goes way back to that.
Well, with me, Columbine was the first time where people actually saw it. and everything. That was the first one that was on
That
national.
before,
Yeah. There's been obviously
99,
mass
I
shootings
think, right?
before
98?
that.
One of those.
But it's like nothing really happened. It was like a huge deal,
Yeah.
Shoot.
and nothing happened.
One of the things that like shook me was Columbine's not even in the top 10 for mass for casualties for mass shooters.
I'm sorry, really
No,
quickly,
go
just
ahead.
to step in. I'll never forget Eminem doing songs like mocking the fact that the media at that time, 20 years ago, you can go back and watch the tapes on YouTube if you want, were blaming Marilyn Manson
Yes.
and blaming Eminem and the music and rock music and, all of this stuff was used as a scapegoat.
Oh, and
I know
games
we're going to
too.
get into other scapegoats
Games-
about right now.
Games was the scapegoat
But
as well
yeah,
back then.
violent
then.
video games in the late 90s were used as a scapegoat back then, along with rock music.
And back then, violent video games were barely even violent.
Yeah, you
Like,
couldn't.
seriously.
It was so fucking pixelated. It's like you were killing something, but it was just fucking red dots flying everywhere. It's like, come on,
I
man.
was shooting Nazis in Doom,
Yeah, basically.
Wolfenstein. And shit.
But the crazy thing about the shootings is that the one that you were talking about was the guy was mad at his mom.
What the whole motive was behind the Gilroy thing, and then the El Paso one, and then it's like I'm trying to go to bed, and then I hear this thing pops off in like Dayton, and I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm tired. I'm like, I don't even know what happened, what was going on. I just know it was fucking in the middle of downtown, and it's just like it seems like the same sort of repetitiveness.
Yeah, there's
going on with
like
these-
an image that's floating around on Facebook, and it was posted last year, and basically says mass shooting, people rally, nothing happens, it's all quiet again, and mass shooting, like it's a circle,
Yeah,
like
little circle thing.
something will happen, people will start discussing about it, but then it will just drop off and nothing will happen, but then another mass shooting happens again, and then it's just a constant circle of nothing ever fucking happening.
But I mean, this fucking president or whatever
God.
will be so quick to, when something comes up with anything that has to do with illegal immigration, or if there's a Mexican or anything that does something that makes news, he fucking will tweet out and be like, this is what I'm talking about, et cetera, and he'll make it his whole big fucking neon sign on what he's trying to fucking do, saying about the invasion and et cetera, et cetera. Meanwhile, it's almost like fucking a dozen to fucking a penny for these incidents that are happening with these white nationalist guys that are just like, I need to take my country back. The black people are taking over. Fucking Mexicans are coming, et cetera, and they find it that their reasoning for fucking just doing these mass shootings is just pure fucking hatred and non-understanding, not having a fucking caring bone in their body. And
Yeah.
I forget who it was that I was paying attention or talking to about it. I think it was Bunny Man. He was having a discussion about mental illness and saying mental illness is the problem. And I do think
it's a factor. Yeah.
it factors into certain equations, I believe. However, when people are just doing this out of hatred, I think that downplays real mental illness. If
Yeah.
you have some sort of chemical imbalance and you need, like, if you're bipolar or depressed
Schizo or
or
some shit.
whatever it is that medication and treatment and talking to a therapist can handle, I think that it's disrespectful for people that are suffering through that than to just be like, yeah, I fucking hate Mexicans or whatever.
No.
I think it's disrespectful for
Right.
people to categorize hatred and just racism and xenophobia in the same category with actual mental illness.
So I understand what you're saying. And there's a lot of valid points you made there, but I think that it is a form of mental illness. Obviously, hate is not, right? But the fact that somebody can go out there and totally look at somebody and not even see them as human, that's a mental illness. There's something wrong with them to not see them as a human and think that it's within their right to remove them from the planet in mass droves. That's not how a normal human operates. They're missing empathy. They're missing a lot of core components of what makes somebody human, and they're not right. It's not an excuse, but I think they definitely suffer from some form of mental illness. Because there's no way that a normal person would think that it's okay to pick up a gun and fire into a fucking crowd of people, even if it's hate. Like, most people, you just don't do that.
To common sense people like us, yes.
That's why I'm saying they're still, part of them, they're missing something.
But when you are, I guess, fucking, I don't know if these people are just nurtured and brought up in a environment of hate through parenting, through their childhood,
You know what I'm gonna say.
or just just being like, yeah, fucking, I got my job taken by a fucking Mexican or
Which doesn't
by
happen.
I agree.
Yeah, if your job got taken by a Mexican, you were basically a fucking farmer, or you were getting paid so little that it didn't really matter anyway. Like, I don't.
But if you're using that as a scapegoat,
Yeah, no.
and it comes in, yeah, it's fucking stupid and it's just moral and it's fucking dark for you to think logically that way. But I think of it, and I don't want to get into like legitimate mental illness or whatever and use that term because I think that's going down a rabbit hole and I don't want to offend certain people. But I think that I just don't think that's the same as somebody who has legitimate depression or whatever, rather than somebody that's just like, I'm pissed off today or I'm pissed off my girl left me. I need to shoot the fucking school or shoot up her job.
I think for you, the way you're classifying mental illness is as something that can be sympathized with, right? Or at least empathized with. I don't think you're seeing that there's forms of mental illness that can cause a high amount of violence. Like if you have somebody that's manic depressive, if they're on up or down, they can go through some really crazy fucking shit. There's forms of mental illness, like being a fucking psychopath, shit like that are definitely super fucking negative.
Right.
I'm sorry, can I
categorize that as sort of like a chemical. I think that like.
I'm sorry. Let me get
okay,
one
you
quick
go
thing
ahead.
in there just to make sure I'm on the same page. For those that have what you mentioned, Kronos, mowing down random people or mowing down a select group of people, I could see how you have an episode, a violent episode,
Yeah.
but going into a synagogue and mowing down, Jewish worshipers or a mosque for Muslims is very specific and targeted rather than a incident of like, I'm having an anxiety and I'm going to lash out violently towards anybody.
That's
I
the
agree.
thing-
Yeah,
well, see,
okay,
that's the thing that I'm trying to come across is that you're equating these more sympathetic forms of mental illness and not the ones that are more horrific.
Well,
Like you brought up anxiety. Yeah, anxiety in general, it doesn't really hurt anybody, but being a fucking psychopath does. You know what I mean? Like that's a legit fucking problem.
But you can be a psychopath and be a racist bigot who wants to target certain groups.
Yeah, for sure, sure. But the mental illness is still there. I'm not saying that it's like the total, that's a total solution or the total like piece of the puzzle. But I think a lot of people when they kind of downplay mental illness is that you're thinking about mental illness in sort of a almost too compassionate kind of way. And I'm just coming from a guy that suffers from fucking mental illness. That there are different forms that more people are sympathetic towards, like depression, anxiety, PTSD, or post-traumatic stress, shit like that. Those are things that people can understand, right? But when it comes to stuff like being a psychopath, there's a couple other ones too, where you go through some serious violent episodes that people don't even bring up when it comes to the mental health issues. Like if you've ever been to an asylum, you see people that are crazy as fuck, and they have violent episodes almost daily. And they are not controlled at all.
I don't think it's fair to people that do suffer that to be categorized with these cold, calculating people. The guy drove like 9 hours to go defend some fucking random border town or whatever in his mind. I think I do understand that, yes, there's like schizophrenia and things that do obviously lead to violent outlashes and everything. These were calculated fucking. The guy had fucking eye and ear protection, like he was going to the fucking range and drove 9 hours to do so.
But that's irrelevant, man. You can just because you have mental health issues doesn't mean that you don't have some sort of grasp on reality. You can still make rational decisions, even though that's irrational shit. But you can still make rational type decisions with a serious mental health issue.
I can still call somebody crazy too.
Yeah, you can call them crazy. Yeah, that's fine.
But I think mental health is definitely one of the things that has an impact on some of this gun violence.
There is one correlation that I don't think is insignificant, is the fact that I think it was like in the 90s, we basically defunded the vast majority of mental health centers here in America.
Yep.
So, and that we've seen, that's
I
one
guess
of the
who's
problems.
behind that?
Yeah. And that's one of the problems that you see, especially here in California with the homelessness. Because they don't have anywhere to fucking go. They usually just throw them in jail, but it's like, you can't throw somebody in jail for just being fucking homeless and suffering from mental health. Like, they need to be helped.
The Dayton's
But they're
dad,
not helping them.
the Dayton shooter's dad was a therapist.
Yeah.
and everything.
He killed his sister in that shooting.
He made he did that, and then he got suspended from school for fuck. I mean, yeah, this is where we need to cover up these potholes in diagnosing and seeing problems as they're developing. This kid put out a murder rape list and was suspended from school. Okay, that's fucking.
Well, he was
that's
like-
a red flag to me.
Yeah, I think he was like
flag
expelled,
to
but then
anybody.
they brought him back. They let him come back, like I guess like the following year or some shit like that.
There's-
But he did go. I think he went through counseling, but I'm not sure exactly what happened. I
have
don't
no
know the
idea.
full details.
It's crazy.
I've been to a mental health facility before they were shut down. I work with someone who has a mental disability to where he's borderline schizophrenia, where he has violent tendencies, but he has not acted upon them because he's heavily medicated. So you would never know it by talking to this guy. You know that he likes to talk a lot, but you would never think that he would hurt anybody. But he's told a few people, he's not ashamed of it, but he realizes that when it becomes too much, when an episode is coming on, he can feel it, and he removes himself from the situation. He takes his meds. About 15 to 20 weeks later, he comes back, and then he's able to get through it.
I want to take this opportunity to really quickly say, crazy pussy is still good pussy. Please.
Oh my goodness! If you want to get shot. Another fact is apparently these mass shooters that they have taken into custody, they do tests on them, and they show that they're clinically not insane. They show that
Why do you
they're
do that after someone's dead?
they show that they're clinically not insane. The only one that I've seen that has been clinic.
No, he's saying when they get taken into custody.
They get taken into custody.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, you missed our part. So the only one that I've seen that they have claimed as being clinically insane was the Dark Knight shooter.
No, there's been a lot that have been off their meds.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
that. So you can't say that their mental health is not an issue when they're
I'm
when they're clearly on medication.
I'm not saying it's not an issue.
Yeah. But what I'm saying though is that you saying insane and having mental health is like that's kind of two different things. Insane is somebody that's
Insane is a clinical.
definition.
Definition
Their clinical definition, because they say that these people, some of them are highly intelligent. Some of them
a lot of
were,
people,
like he was saying, cold, calculated. They test usually for empathy. Do they care about other humans and whatnot? And it may seem like not, because apparently they care about their family, but these other people, I guess they don't view them, like Cronus said, as human or part of their race or whatever they want to.
Some of them
They're
don't care
not
about
with
their
them.
family.
Mental illness to me doesn't
Some of them don't,
discriminate. It doesn't. It's not gender or race specific.
Nope.
But it does seem that these incidents that are involving people picking up fucking weapons and just mowing down people seem to be very specific in terms of the demographic that is going out and thinking this as a solution.
Most of them have a reason behind why they're doing it. Like the El Paso guy was like he mainly was focusing on Mexicans, and he was trying to, I guess, kill off the ones that are invading the country. The same thing with what happened in Gilroy. Like they were focusing mainly on Mexicans as well.
But
so.
why aren't black women doing this?
Yeah, that's exactly. It's
Why aren't Asian men doing this?
Yeah.
Why? That's where I feel like
So-
what's the connection? Why?
So
And
on,
you see these guys? They all look the same.
so
Why is it just this
politicians-
group of people that are
Yeah.
doing this? And I don't want to get on this
They're all
whole
young men, too.
race thing of being like it's only these people doing it.
no, 'cause
But
it-
I'm
There was a DC sniper.
yeah,
no,
but there's also
yes,
there's
That was a
also
surprise.
there's also a mass shooting earlier this year with the guy. The black man, I think it's Virginia Beach or whatnot. He shot up everyone at his old work because he was fired. Showed back up that same day with a legal firearm and murdered like 10, 15 people, or maybe it's like 8 or 9. But still, he killed more than 2 people. And the chick from Google who showed up because she got fired. She started trying to kill people.
Well, she didn't get fired. I think they closed her YouTube
Get in
channel or
there,
some
get in there,
shit.
Chronos.
Some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that listen, there's a whole bunch of problems, but I think it's time for America to really just sit down and just admit that we have a fucking violence problem. We have a violence problem, and I think that you can toss out all the fucking facts that you want to me about how it's the safest time to live, which I totally agree. It's the safest time to live ever. It is, totally is. And you toss out the facts that violence is down, which it is. It's trending down. However, this is fucking 2019, and we live in goddamn America, and we still have problems with violence every fucking day. Yes, we have issues with people dying at higher rates with like from the cold and flu and all this other bullshit by suicide, blah blah blah, fucking blah. But I have a higher standard for America, and people should not be getting shot still in America for no fucking reason other than some goddamn madman decided he had a fucking bad day and to kill a bunch of people. And for people to sit there and to flippantly just say that, oh, well, you know, it doesn't happen that often. It happens too fucking often. It happens too often. And for you to not even admit that, you're part of the fucking problem. Like, if you don't even admit that violence is still not is not a problem in America, then you're already fucking numb to this issue, and you're just part of the problem.
Yeah. And what's so crazy is that other countries are not banning people, but they're letting them know, like, hey, you probably don't want to fly to U.S. because
travel ban.
Yeah, there's like a travel ban from different
or
countries.
travel advisory.
Yes,
which
it is. Yeah,
which is the first for the U.S.
Yes, which is fucking crazy.
So another thing that we have been seeing is every time these mass shootings happen, there's always politicians always scapegoat. Well, we talked about this before with Columbine, and then they're talking about it now about violent video games, violent media doing this kind of stuff. And if you're some of our listeners, they watch Trevor Noah, which is great. I think he's a great guy. He's not perfect, but I like him as well. But he brought up the statistics, as Cronus brought up to the rest of us. Other countries have violent video games as well.
It's the exact same games we play.
Some of them consume this technology more than we do as Americans.
Korea
being
South Korea.
Yeah, South Korea. Yeah, South Korea, Japan. They do not have this mass shooter problem like we do, and the media keeps lashing on it. And then today, I'm hearing stuff that there's some conservative pundits saying that white supremacists is the hoax, that they're not out there. If you look at...
It's not a fucking hoax.
He said it today on his show. But
I think it was Tucker Carlson.
It is Tucker Carlson. There you go. Fuck his name. Fuck his couch. If you look at I think it was the El Paso guy and this 8chan controversy. The 8chan...
Wait, there's more than 4chan?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
4chan's got the good stuff, right?
Oh. So the 8chan is supposed to be this not index, it's like a bulletin board for free speech, right? The creator of the site said he wanted it to be like 4chan, but less restrictive. And then
4chan is wild.
But it has rules. There's a lot of if you can go on 4chan and be anonymous and post almost whatever you want, almost. But 8chan, you can post whatever you want. And the thing is,
Ain't nobody put no kitty porn on there and got it shut down?
Well, it's not indexed by Google anymore. It is now. It's been a haven for white supremacists, and I believe it's the El Paso shooter. He posted a 4-page manifesto on 8chan, and the creator of the site, when he heard about El Paso, the first thing that popped in his head was he on 8chan? And sure enough, he said within 15 minutes he found the manifesto, saw that he was on there. 8chan has been linked to numerous mass shootings. The Gamergate controversy started on 8chan.
Which I still don't understand. But go ahead.
In one day, it took 4 planes for us to fucking change everything we fucking do
at
a fucking airport. And we changed it without fucking issue, without any fucking buck back. You want to go see your loved one get on the plane? You gotta wait here. You can't go wait at the gate like you used to. You can't go hug your dad goodbye or whatever when he walks.
You gotta take off your shoes. You gotta fucking put your laptop in the fucking thing.
Fucking
you have to
X-ray
every fucking time you go onto the plane.
Yeah.
There's a giant fucking TSA like one thing that's sorry, I'm gonna try to jump gears.
No. You got it right. Yeah.
One thing that fucking pissed me off about this whole TSA shit
He just got
is
off
that
the plane.
I just got this shit was so fucking annoying. So there's a standard line for people who are waiting as long as fucking line, but now they have this new fucking system where if you pay money, you can cut through the fucking line.
Well, they
it's
call
like
it pre-board.
It's because terrorists are broke.
Apparently so.
I
But
guess
it's just
they
some
can.
fucking bullshit. Like it's okay. The rich can fucking cut the line. Basically, is what it is.
No,
This is the American way.
Yeah,
Guys,
if you have enough money,
American in that.
hey,
so fucking annoying.
our fucking president apparently had enough money to have sex with an underage girl and get it covered up. So,
in Russia.
I will say this. For me, not being able to take my 40 ounces of anal lube and only being able to have
you can
4
only-
ounces.
Yeah, 4
That's
ounces.
not American.
So hold on, you have to wait till you land to buy lube, use that up, and then come back.
So I'm glad that you guys brought this up. So there's a problem. Like what you brought up is totally valid, But the problem is that the logical conclusion for most people to take from what you just said is that we should probably just start banning guns, right?
No, you can't do
That's
that.
That's not the way. If everybody's listening to this, and you can't in America, you literally cannot do it. You can't ban guns here. It's never gonna fucking work. If you even attempt it, I can guarantee you there will be a fucking civil war.
Oh yeah.
And that's without question. You can't do it.
I don't.
And one interesting thing is kind of talking about somebody had posted up like, hey, you know, if everybody had guns, like this wouldn't have happened. Like people would have pulled out their gun and killed whatever.
Because everyone
But no,
says the same thing about.
but the problem with that,
where are the good guys with guns?
Well,
Well, guess what? The good guys with guns were police officers.
well, no, the problem with that is like, okay, say like there's a mass shooting and somebody else pulls out their gun and they kill the person with the gun. Well, the first thing that's gonna happen, the police are gonna see that person with the gun who killed somebody else, and all of a sudden they're fucking dead. And even if there's a bunch of people with guns, the police is gonna think, okay, there's multiple fucking shooters, and they're gonna fucking start shooting people who are there trying to be fucking superheroes.
or calling
It was
backup.
talked about
talked
at the
about it,
at the Walmart one. Some of the
Yeah.
officers on scene, they said, because I mean it's Texas, it's El Paso or whatever, and the officers were saying we had trouble figuring out who the actual real shooter was.
Yeah.
I saw a really good interview with a guy who was a military. I don't know what branch, but he had his concealed weapon on him. But he went into just get
people
these
out,
kids
yeah.
out or whatever, which is fucking. I mean,
That's the bravest thing you can do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, if you have a weapon on you when somebody's firing, the only time you should ever use it is if literally you're getting shot at to defend yourself. If the person is shooting people and they're not anywhere near you, you have to leave. You have to. You can't go in there like fucking Rambo because you're gonna get fucking
Other
shot.
people killed
You're
too.
gonna- yeah.
Because this is what's gonna happen. All right, even if you kill the guy, if you don't kill the guy and then immediately like basically put the fucking firearm away from you and then lay down with your fucking arms out, like you're in serious fucking danger.
We were taught that if we were in a situation where it was off duty or whatever, and we had a situation where we had to pull our firearm out or whatever, first of all, we need to make sure we have cuffs or whatever, because essentially you're going to be holding this guy at gunpoint or whatever. Even if you do shoot him, you injure him, and he's down on the ground, then what? What are you going to do?
Yeah,
You got to
true.
keep him at gunpoint, and then if another
Shoot him till
officer,
he's dead.
Oh damn.
yeah,
Well,
because I mean the way they talk about it, and unfairly, and I don't want this to get crazy long or whatever, but the thing that the shooting that happened in Parkland, where the deputy did not act and was sort of outside the door, and he got fucking fried for that
Yeah,
shit, for
'cause-
not going in and attacking the shooter.
Well, I was gonna say like on W. Kamal Bell's show, United Shades of America. There was an episode where he goes to does this police simulation, where he's a police officer and after shooting at a movie theater, and when he's there, there's another cop there, and he almost was gonna shoot the cop because it's a virtual reality thing. And he was gonna shoot the cop because the cop had a gun, but luckily the cop had like his badge and was like, "Hey, I'm a police officer."
yeah.
But any like civilian can have like some badge, some fake badge, and try to flash it, try to say something. I don't know. It's fucking it's a catch.
If I was responding to that, we're shoot on sight.
Yeah.
The thing is to end the threat or whatever. So, I mean, I would be, or whoever a responding officer would be covered. If let's say Kronos is the crazy white dude shooting up the fucking store, and you shoot him or whatever, and I roll up there and I see you with a gun pointed on him, I'm shooting you, no questions.
Yeah.
And that's
Because I know
Totally
the
fucking
situation.
reasonable.
Yeah, that the situation I'm coming into is that there is a guy that is shooting and killing people left and right, and my job is to end the fucking threat.
Yep.
I'll put you down, and you know what? I'll be hands washed, clean covered, because I can be like, I got there. He had a gun pointed at him. I wanted to stop the threat.
So let's. This has been brought up actually by K-Mac and a lot of other people that I talk to. Is that they always ask me why, when we have mass shootings, do they usually take the suspect in? Not even a suspect. The guy fucking did the shooting. I'm not gonna call him a suspect. You know he's the guy who did it, not a suspect. Why do they not kill them on site all the time? And there's a
depends.
bunch of reasons. All right.
Yeah.
So one of the main reasons is because you need to understand what the guy's motives was. You need to also understand that there's fucking more than one. That's one of the main reasons why they don't do that. And like they need to profile people like them. But I will say though is that even though after they do interviews, after they interrogate the people, they get all the information, but they're not doing anything with the information, because if they did, it would literally infringe upon our freedoms. Like we all know the fucking red flags for most mass shooters. But in order for us to act on those red flags, we'd have to hugely invade people's privacies. And I don't think anybody's willing to put up with that shit.
Pretty sure NSA is already doing
I
that.
think part of it, though, comes to, I think a lot of these idiot shooters, their plan is to ultimately kill themselves after they fucking go around shooting people.
Maybe in death
And
by
then
cop.
they don't get the fucking balls to fucking turn the trigger on themselves, and they're kind of stuck.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Now, as much as it would be sort of Punisher street justice to just fucking be like, fuck you, you're done, or whatever. At the same time, if someone's responding to a scene and I see you who I think is the shooter, your hands are up, and they're
you
not.
have to.
Then I can't shoot you or whatever, because then now I'm shooting an unarmed, even regardless of what you fucking did 20 seconds before I got there. When I observed you and I laid eyes on you, you were not a threat to my life. You weren't a threat to anyone else's life, and it is what it is. And even if you got the gun to your head, what does shooting you do?
You gotta shoot him first.
I mean, so then it's essentially a hostage or a suicide situation. Try to calm it down.
I'm going to say this just to jump in real quick. This is a great topic. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But I think we need to.
Oh, yeah, we're
move
gonna
a little
run
forward.
crazy long.
We could.
Oh,
we
yeah,
could,
we
we could
could-
literally
we
do the
will-
whole show
yeah.
on just this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we barely scraped the surface on the video game portion
The
of it.
video
Yeah.
game thing, the assault rifle part, all
Well-
kinds of stuff.
Well, let's stay with video games because I think this is kind of almost adjacent. Modern Warfare, Call of Duty. Got a brand new controversy. We already got the no Russian controversy kind of stuff going on.
The game's not even out.
The game's not even out.
I don't even know about this.
The trailers for Call of Duty, first of all, look good. They have a whole lot of buzz going on. The new controversy, I'm going to say it's a semi-controversy, is as a kill streak in multiplayer, white phosphorus is being used, and some are complaining that because the uses of that can be construed as being part of some war crimes in certain areas and countries and whatnot, and it's been done before, that shouldn't be part of Call of Duty. What do we think, guys?
Yes, this
we
is a thing.
still use white phosphorus to this day. We still use it. It's very effective. You're not supposed to shoot people with it,
Yeah, because
but you can shoot equipment, and people wear equipment. So I'm just saying,
Okay.
that's the workaround on that one. But I mean, listen, white phosphorus. We usually don't use mortars. We have them. It's usually just to destroy tanks and shit like that. And the other one is sable rounds for 50 cals. We use that a lot because it's a sable round is basically it's a 50 caliber round that first hits a target, and then there's white phosphorus in the next layer in, and then there's a tungsten lance that punches through shit. So
All right, I'm gonna play devil's advocate. What the hell is white?
white phosphorus is it's a.
I'm thinking of like a light bulb.
No, it's an agent that burns that does not go out with water. Actually,
okay.
if you put water on it, you make it worse.
yeah,
Oh,
it
okay.
spreads it.
Yeah, the only way to stop white phosphorus from burning you is to literally smother it, usually with mud. So, that
So-
if there's no mud around you, you're pretty fucked.
Civilians typically
Yeah.
pay the brunt of the casualties with this after sometimes the combat is long over with.
So wait, is
Well,
this?
hold on. It's pretty rare that we use it on like a building.
Well, hold on. I'm not just talking about the U.S. military. I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Around
I'm
the
just
world,
saying in
yeah.
general.
Okay.
Wait, is
because
this-
like Saddam Hussein.
Okay, so
you know what I
sorry.
mean?
The Geneva Convention say what I said in the beginning. Geneva Convention say that you can only use white phosphorus on enemy equipment.
Wait, is this the same thing that Itachi uses in Naruto? The little black flame
No, wait,
that doesn't go out?
It basically is Amaterasu.
But you know what I'm going to say? We've seen this. The reason why I would classify this as almost a fake controversy, we've seen this actually done effectively in a narrative shooter. Remember Spec Ops: The Line?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
great game.
Yeah.
The story centered around white phosphorus being used on civilian populations in the Middle East, and all of that shit went all bad with you basically shooting up some of your fellow soldiers and PTSD. They got into some real shit in that game. It was an excellent video game, but white phosphorus was certainly part of it. That's different from a kill streak, though.
Yeah,
But
you
that
get
was part of the
rewarded
campaign.
something that's. I mean, because it is a real life. I mean, the game is supposed to mimic the military, but there's some shit in there that's not true, not real, I should say, or in development. But I mean, I understand that in real life this should not be used unless for a fucking tank or whatnot. But in a game, we're looking at polygons that have like textures on them which are not real people.
It's not even just that. It's fucking semantics. Listen, if I can take a goddamn rocket launcher and shoot you in the fucking face with it, why can't I use white phosphorus on something that doesn't really fucking exist? This is so stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I can take a flamethrower and fucking use a flamethrower on you in any goddamn game. Nobody complains. But all of a sudden, white phosphorus is the big deal.
Yeah,
Get the fuck out of here.
White phosphorus came. I mean, I guess it burns so hot it can burn through your muscle and bone.
Yeah, it burns through
very
your bones.
quickly.
Yeah,
very
yeah.
quickly. But I'm just like, there's all this other shit in the game that can kill you, and in real life, like they have the 50 cal Barrett in the fucking game that can kill you too.
Yeah, you also
it just
can't-
doesn't burn you.
You also can't use 50 caliber rounds on. Well, usually the 50 caliber. Wait, no, it's not 50 caliber. There's another one that you can't use on people. I think it was the Mark 19. It's an automatic grenade launcher. You're supposed to only use on equipment.
Oh shit. Yeah,
But
I mean,
Look, none of this is going to stop Call of Duty from being one of the best-selling games of the year.
No.
It's going to be fucking huge, just like it always is with Call of Duty.
Oh, and-
People are hyped for this one.
and Infinity Ward doubled down and said we are not taking this out.
Yeah, fuck you. is what
Yeah,
they
and
said.
you shouldn't. I mean, it's so fucking dumb. There was also another controversy. I think I mentioned it earlier today about Borderlands 3. So apparently there was a huge Borderlands 3 controversy. I forget the guy's name, but there was a YouTuber that he and Twitch guy. He twitches out a bunch of, maybe he does on YouTube too, but he does a bunch of videos with the previous Borderlands games.
Yeah.
And he's looking forward to Borderlands 3 coming out. And he's meticulously going through all these videos. And apparently he found on one of the videos that they showed, there was a Twitch name that was on, like in one of the videos, and he went to it, and apparently it linked to a whole bunch of other Twitch accounts that were basically 2K Games and Gearbox test accounts for Borderlands 3.
Shit.
And so, but this is public knowledge. Like 100,000 people watched this same stream. They didn't catch it.
Yeah.
But him and some other people did. And so they followed it and they put out the information that, hey, these are test accounts, blah, blah, blah. And apparently 2K Games, they sent out 2 private investigators to his house
Oh, shit.
to talk to him and intimidate the guy.
Men in Black?
Yeah. And I'm like, first of all, you shouldn't have talked about him. You shouldn't talk to him at all. Like, if somebody came to my house and asked me questions about some shit that I did on the internet, and they definitely weren't cops, they definitely would have got fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
fuck
Like,
all of it. And you're
Get
not
the
showing a
fuck-
badge.
Yeah,
You're
you're on my
not-
private property. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And they went
Fucking hilarious.
deeper. It went deeper than that. They gave the guy 4 strikes in a fucking day on his account for something that was publicly available.
Whoa.
And there was a thing called Discord where they deplatformed him on Discord.
Damn, they rolled him
Yeah,
They
dirty.
went deep.
Extra
God
dirty.
damn.
They went deep.
God
But I'm like,
damn.
Just because he found a fucking Easter egg in the goddamn
their
game.
fault.
Yeah.
and there's a bunch of Easter eggs in the Borderlands 3 like trailers and stuff.
Yeah.
And he thought this was one of them. So he was just kind of going down the rabbit hole. And they just totally fucked this guy over. And I'm just like, that's fucked up, but I'm still buying the game. Just saying, I'm still buying the game.
I really hope this game is good, but
And I hope they realize that it was public and they understand that now.
yeah.
And they resolve the issue with this guy because what they did was obviously some really grimy shit. But they can fix it.
This is an adult doing this, right?
Yeah, it's an adult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Still.
Still, I mean, public domain, and you're coming after him like that. I mean, this started the trend on Twitter, kind of tough, not extra tough, but kind of
Well,
tough.
it trended, but it was not in the way you're thinking of. People were mocking it
Yeah.
because they were saying, "I'm still buying the game. I don't give a fuck." Like literally, look up, hashtag
Yeah.
ban Borderlands 3, and you'll see most of the hashtags are saying, "I'm buying the game anyway."
Fuck yeah. Borderlands
So-
is popular. Can't wait for it. September, 9th? 10th? Something
13th,
like that?
I think.
13th? Okay. Real quick, I got to jump in here on some extra fucking bullshit. I don't know if you guys caught it yet or not. Netflix, you done fucked up. Fuck you and your mama's a hoe. Enter the fucking anime. Did anybody see this bullshit?
No.
No, but I heard people talking about it.
Holy
One
fuck.
person.
I heard
No, I
one
heard-
person being loud and
I think only one person watched this, and he's in this room.
No,
This podcast.
there's an article on it too. They were talking about
Was it
how
written by Prodigy?
maybe.
I
got-
have Ghost Riders, you know?
Yeah,
It was
Ghost
written by-
Rider is the Oathbreaker.
Yeah, it was written by Oathbreaker. I was like, who the hell is that?
Yeah, no, it's sitting at like a 3 out of 10 on IMDb. It
Oh,
was,
Jesus.
yeah, man, this was.
why did you continue to watch something that was trash?
He watches
It-
trash.
it was- it
he
was an
watched
hour-
Neo Yokio.
It was
It's
an
trash.
hour long. It was an hour long, and I just kept thinking this was going to start like turning the fucking corner. Basically, it's an advertisement for Netflix original anime, but done by someone who has never watched
See,
anime.
that's a sign of mental illness right there.
That's
You fucking see something that is just trash, but you can't fucking turn away.
Turn my fucking head, man.
No,
Well, sometimes-
your
I
time,
mean-
your time is more valuable than watching
should
trash.
be.
No, when you watch when
he's
you're in a
watching
podcast, you
He
kind of
keeps
gotta watch
watching-
something all the way through so you can
Sometimes
talk
you have
about it
to.
too. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
that's kinda
I watched fucking Death Note, the Netflix version, just so I
yeah,
could
no.
talk about how fucking bad it was.
How
Even
bad can it get?
yeah, I was like, oh, it
man.
can't go that bad. Oh, it just got worse
Hey,
and worse.
I watched DC's Titans all the way up past where Blue
God.
was. Blue quit out. I finished it, and I still shit all over
No
there.
ratings yet on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, here we go.
Yeah. Bad
There-
ones.
It's 100%. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, 0%.
Yeah.
There's 3 critics right now that are on here, and
It ain't-
it's all bad.
It ain't just me. It really ain't. This was. I think I got her actual name. I
yeah,
had to look her up
IMDb
'cause I
has
was
it at
so.
1.3.
I had to look her up because I was so fucking disappointed. Her name was Alexa Bernova, and she was like first year film student. Here's some money. I know you've never watched anime before. Do a full documentary on anime, but don't mention anything about real Japanese culture. Do the whole. These are not her words in the show, but some of the criticism has been like kind of exotic, making Japanese people or Japanese culture very exotic to her, and getting into these whole things of tropes and never touching on any of the history. Like, how are you going to talk about anime, not mention anything like Naruto, Fist of the North Star,
Dragon Ball.
Astro Boy, Dragon Ball? Yeah,
Yeah.
literally all the classics we grew up with. Robotech, none of that is mentioned, and the only good thing was they had our boy LaShawn Thomas is in it for a brief 5-minute interview, talking about his Cannon Buster show. Everybody
that's
else,
coming.
yeah, everybody Agregetsko or
Gretzko.
Gretzko, yeah, they have the creator of that on there, but it's so fucking limited to just surface
Netflix
level.
shit.
Yeah, man, it doesn't touch on any type of true weeb Japanese culture.
So, I mean, Netflix, you're doing a decent job with anime so far. It's, I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's hit or miss, but it's on the positive side of hit or miss.
yeah.
But at the same time, you are so new with anime, you are not even like a blip on the radar right now. I mean, you're doing a good job so far, but there's been other people that came before you that you kind of got to show some respect to.
If you're doing a documentary
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
subject anime, I was looking forward to this. I was like, I'm going to learn some new shit.
And if you can't get the rights to even mention the anime, then maybe don't make a documentary.
And I think
Actually, you don't even fucking need rights to talk about them.
no, of
Yeah,
course
it's-
not. But you had like a first year kind of like, I'm out of film school. I'm going to make a documentary. I've never seen anime before. What is this weird thing?
That's
How-
awful.
Cringy as absolute fuck. I encourage you to see it just to see how bad it is. Go in with low fucking shitty ass expectations.
I'm gonna check it
No,
out.
you keep watching.
Yeah.
See, you tried doing this years ago with that human centipede shit.
Oh,
you tried tricking
bring it up.
everybody,
That was like-
and I already
That was
knew.
like 5 years ago, most of the, not more than that, to the day.
Yeah.
Like, it was like
Yeah.
real recently.
Yeah, and then Human Centipede 2,
One of the six-
I was smart enough to watch it before I came to the party, which
all
was
bad.
crazy. But you watch that Neo Yokio and fucking Teen Titans Go, so nah, fam.
I mean,
And the food isn't shit. I'm just,
Oh, yeah, right?
But they didn't even mention like one of the best ones they have on there is my gambling orgasm girl show Kakaguri,
yeah.
and now it has a brand new season. They didn't even fucking mention it. None of the Godzilla ones.
they mentioned 7 Deadly Sins?
Actually, no, they didn't mention.
God
They mentioned
damn.
7 Seeds, not
Wait.
7 Deadly Sins.
They did or did not Godzilla, because Godzilla's on there.
They didn't mention Godzilla. Man, this was a fucking amateur.
No
shit you not-
Voltron?
No Voltron. If they did mention Castlevania, I shit you not.
Okay.
If Blue had a fucking camera, I'll fly your ass out to Japan. You could have done a better
Hell
job
yeah.
in a week.
Oh, wait, she was
with
in
this.
Japan and like fucking it up?
It's still fucking it up, man.
I could do
just
better.
took company
I can go
money.
down to San Jose and go to Japantown and probably do a better
Yeah.
one.
If you go on Twitter and just enter the hashtag, enter the anime or whatever, you'll see everybody on there for the most part is saying the same type of shit. Total fucking waste of time. Piss you off, fucking trash. 2 out of 10. All right. Where you want to jump to?
Something that's not on the list really quickly. This about streaming services. I don't know. This is really recent. I don't know if
Disney
you guys
Plus.
caught this. It is about Disney Plus. They're bundling their packages, so now you can do Disney Plus, Hulu plus ESPN Plus for
caveat.
$12.99.
With the
The
caveat.
caveat is Hulu will have the ads.
Okay, so this is kind of dumb because, all right, Disney fans and sports fans usually don't fucking intersect.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck are you
Hold
doing?
on.
Yeah, I thought that too.
They also announced that everything they own from 20th Century Fox will be on Disney Plus.
Because Disney owns ESPN.
Yes.
Okay,
And
well-
with 20th Century Fox, you're looking at the Alien franchise, Avatar,
Okay.
everything
Well,
else.
you're, again, not sports fans
Mm-hmm.
traditionally. So that's a really weird bundling to me.
They're just not trying to monopolize
Yeah,
everything.
It doesn't make any fucking sense.
I think what was the price they listed at?
$12.99.
$12.99. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think Netflix just
For
raised their
three-
price to $15.99.
Yeah, so you get 3 services for one price
mean-
versus one price for one service.
What they should do if they were smart, I don't know if ESPN has an esports thing yet.
They
I
do.
know they have
Building it up.
presence, but if they had an esports like legit channel, then it kind of makes some more sense. That kind of overlaps. But yeah, sports and fucking weebs, they don't fucking, you know.
I think what they're doing is dad can watch the sports, mom and kid can watch the Disney part of it or whatever.
Fuck
all
them
all we
kids.
need is the one thing, and
But
they're
Black Dynamite
good.
loves the kids.
I don't know.
I just don't like the Hulu with ads. I just got
Yeah.
a fucking thing about paying
Paying
for
with
something
ads,
and then
yeah.
ads coming in there.
Fuck
Fuck
it's
you.
annoying.
Yeah.
It's
Same thing with, like, I'll bring it up again, but I have the same problem with like YouTube. Like their whole thing with like, I can't choose who my ads are, and they deplatform us, or not deplatform, but they'll demonetize us because they'll say that it's not ad supported when I can't choose who the fuck is playing for ads on my video content that I made. There are people out there that have no problem with anything what the fuck I say on this podcast, and they are willing to pay for that.
Yep.
But for you to say that, from this generalized list of ads, we're not going to pay you, even though people are still going to click on your shit, and we're still going to get our money. You know what I mean? It's total bullshit.
well, that's the fucked up part too. Is that even though they don't pay us for the ads or whatever that shows up, the ads still play.
Yeah, no shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they do. It's bullshit, and it's how they make money. And I think that this is why it's like we literally need amendments to our constitution.
There we go.
To like cover shit like this, because I'm not for like total government regulation, but for shit like this, it is deregulated. Like seriously, because we all know there's dark corners of the internet that are real fucked up, that aren't regulated at all. They're doing a very poor job of it. There's shit that what comes to monetization, where these corporations can on a whim deplatform somebody or take away money from them when it's literally all they have for income for no fucking reason other than they're talking about something that they personally don't like, but that advertisers don't have a problem with.
I'm also gonna say this too. I saw a huge ass list for Disney Plus of the movies that are available year 1, and then some of the expanded lists for I think year 2. I was under the impression, and I gave DC a lot of shit about this. Look, motherfuckers, you have the license to your old fucking library. Release the whole goddamn thing. The whole reason why I didn't buy the DC, what was it, the DC,
DC
streaming
Universe.
or whatever,
Sorry.
I asked them multiple times, and I kept looking this up. Are you going to have every single one of your DC cartoons and movies available at launch? And they still don't have all of them on there, from my understanding.
Yeah, I don't think so.
And it doesn't sound like Disney has
Yeah,
all.
it doesn't make any fucking sense because, listen, I think what they're thinking is we'll roll it over time so people have more content. But it's like if you release all your shit, literally I will fucking die before I watch all of your content.
Exactly.
So what is the point of like rolling it out? It's already out there anyway.
Yeah.
There's already too much fucking content.
Yeah, you got 80 years of it. Like,
Yeah.
Disney's been around for a long ass
But
time.
even that, like a lot of kids will watch the same fucking movie like
Yeah.
30 goddamn times in a day.
And
Like, how the fuck you doing that?
They pretend like they're not making more new shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna watch your new shit, but your old shit is gonna be the thing that's gonna bring me in. Like I want to have access to all the old shit that all the nostalgia points.
Of course.
I want to be able to watch Justice League,
Yeah.
and Justice League Unlimited,
Yep.
shit like that, and Batman and all that shit. Even though it's Warner Brothers, but shit like that.
But you can't tell me, we'll only release 65% of it. No. And this isn't some licensing rights thing or they don't have room. No. Put it out there.
It's because they're stupid ass. It's old people that are doing this shit. They're old stupid fucks that don't think about how their viewers watch shit.
Yep.
Because if you have literally 1 million hours of fucking content,
That's it.
nobody's gonna go through your entire content in their
course
fucking
not.
lifetime.
Of course not. And it also breeds goodwill for a new application.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole library's on there? Cool as shit. Let me subscribe. I literally would have done it for DC as soon as they launched if they said all of their old shit was on there.
They need to hire us.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
Fucking hire us.
That's it.
Well, I think that's kind of why Netflix was so successful. Is that like,
Dropped everything.
yeah, they just threw everything out there, and you can watch. It's almost impossible to find something not to watch on
Bro,
Netflix.
that's another fucking good point. All these new, stupid ass streaming services, they're streaming services, but they don't understand how streaming services work.
Yeah.
They're releasing content on like a week by week basis. Why the fuck are you doing that? That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
Well, I know why they're doing it. They're making sure that you keep your membership going
No,
to be able to watch all the content.
You know what? All that does is it invites piracy. That's all it does.
Oh, yeah.
I want to watch it all now.
Yeah.
Or what they'll do is they'll wait until the season is over and they'll just get the free month and then just watch it all and then it's done.
I'll forget to watch it.
I stopped.
Yeah.
I haven't watched, even though I really enjoyed Vinland, that anime, but it was 3 at a time.
Yeah, same
was
thing.
like,
Like it was like a month, more than a month.
Yeah,
Is it
man.
Cloak and Dagger?
And they
That's
just dropped it. But I got a
Cloak
price
and
hookup.
Dagger. Wait, the show or just the
show.
antics?
The show would come out like they would put out a thing every week or whatever, and I would be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I would just completely forget about like, oh, I haven't watched Cloak and Dagger. Oh,
Out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah, because it's on Hulu.
It's fucking old people and their old ass ways of thinking. Listen, I'm fucking old too, but I understand how this shit works. I understand what consumers want, and consumers do not want to wait a goddamn week when you already know that the shit is already it's made. It's out.
We don't even want you checking in. Hey, are you still watching? Nah, just
No.
keep playing it.
Yeah.
You know what I
What's
mean?
electricity?
Yeah.
Like,
But
Not
that's
doing, yeah, what you
my-
doing me favors for?
my only actually I like that Netflix does that because my only problem is that I'll fall asleep and forget what episode I was on. And all of a sudden all the fucking episodes are done. I'm like, fuck, which one was I on?
Yeah, that's time.
Before we go on, real quick, I do want to hear. I'm only going to be on half the show, but I have to hear this. Stitch told us in the chat there was something against the Beehive that he had.
Holy shit! Yeah, I
And-
forgot about that.
And I need to hear this because
Oh my God.
Beehive. Let me hear this.
I went out with my wife and one of her friends to I think it was the place in San Leandro. It's really cool.
The Epic, the arcade place?
It's like Patriot something. It's
no
a
idea.
brewery place in San
Oh.
Leandro downtown. It'll pop up in my head.
Liberty-O.
Yeah. So we were
good
there
place.
talking or
Good
whatever.
place,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's really cool. And the disrespect for J-Lo, I fucking lost my
Oh, no.
mind. They were like, I don't remember how the conversation. I wish I'd have known because I blocked it out of my brain. So I went in rage mode.
Jenny from the block?
Yeah, they were trying to say she's not an icon.
What the fuck?
Yes. And I lost
my
my beer.
God.
I almost dropped my dog leash. I was
She's
about-
still fine.
She is. Yes. I was
And,
like,
she's probably like 50 fucking years old. Hot
yes,
as fuck.
yes. And then I was like, y'all don't understand. I was like, you know what? I was like, maybe I'm just prisoner moment right now, but I'm putting J-Lo above Beyonce in terms of where I rank her as a icon for me. Whatever, she's fly girl.
She's literally 50.
Yeah,
Wow, yeah, there
she
you go.
She's
looks
fine as fuck.
better than Beyonce at 50 compared to Beyonce's what 37.
Hot
Okay.
takes. Hot takes.
All right.
Whatever.
All right.
Hot
I mean,
takes.
she's definitely got better ass.
Yeah. I mean, these are facts.
I think
these
I
are Stitch facts.
personally think she's a better dancer than Beyonce because I know she choreographs her own shit.
She's a fly girl.
I know she. Yeah, exactly.
I got no argument against that one.
Yeah. She didn't have to come.
Beyonce's had a better musical career. I mean, we have to say that.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, yeah. I mean, are we ignoring that she did have a group that was ran by her dad and everything with that whole aspect of it? Because J-Lo was sort of by herself
I mean,
doing her own thing.
Now that I see them side by side, I think I'd agree with Stitch.
I don't even like that picture, but I still say
Yeah,
yeah.
but I can. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, I have no
But
problem
how,
with
I'm
either.
sorry, rewind the tape though. How did the comparison with J-Lo and Beyonce start? Because it sounded like J-Lo was getting shit on.
They were like, she's no Beyonce, and I was like,
Oh.
Wait,
Wait, this is Lilo saying this?
I can't. It was Lilo and Lilo's friend. They were like, she doesn't have any iconic
Oh,
songs.
they're
Like,
young,
we're
that's
single,
why.
and I was like,
They didn't have any hits. What the fuck?
I was like Jenny from the Block.
Yeah.
It's with
It's all
Ja Rule.
good. Yeah.
I'm real.
Jesus
I
Christ.
was losing my
She played fucking
mind.
Selena in a goddamn movie.
It was disrespect. I need more Hispanic friends to hang out with on the regular to choke up these crazy white bitches when they disrespect J-Lo.
Do you remember like how big of a celebrity she was like during that period with Puffy? The
Yes.
Puffy dating stuff,
Yeah.
and then the stuff with
Puffy?
Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Puffy Affleck. Was it
A-Rod.
Iglesias?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Oh, no,
not
Mark
Iglesias.
Anthony.
Mark
Mark
Anthony.
Then
I think she
A-Rod.
owns part of the Dolphins.
Yeah, but literally
Uh,
on the cover of pretty much every like pop magazine for years.
Oh yeah.
But
With
Now
all
she-
those
Beyonce's the
relationships.
same way, though.
Dating-
She's on
dating
the
A-Rod.
cover of numerous magazines and sites now.
I feel like J-Lo had more scandalous, like, oh, she's with Puffy for a hot minute.
J-Lo was involved with
yeah.
a shooting.
I thought you were
Yeah,
talking
that's
about
true. I
J-Lo
forgot
went to
about the
court
shooting,
for like a murder
Oh.
charge. She had to testify as a witness for a murder charge. That's why
Yeah.
Shine got.
That's why
fucking-
she broke up with Buffy. I
Yeah,
thought you.
Fucking gangster.
Okay, wait, hold on, rewind. I thought you were talking about covers, like cover shoots, not with scandals for Beyonce versus J Lo.
Oh yeah, J-Lo was the it girl of the most of the 90s and 2000s. If you
Yes.
think about it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, Beyonce's music is obviously more prolific than J-Lo's, like for sure. But I think it's like, as far as talent goes, I think that J-Lo's got brings more to the table. She's a better dancer. She's a better actor.
Yeah.
Better.
Yeah.
I'd give her a better actor.
She's not a better singer, but that's okay.
Yeah.
You know that's okay. But I think she brings other things to the table, and that's not to take anything away from Beyonce. I mean, she's talented as well, but
She works
I mean,
hard, too.
J-Lo's the shit. I think the problem is that people forget about somebody that just hasn't done things lately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was thinking the same thing with, let's say, Mariah Carey as well.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey is an icon.
Like if somebody would say that Beyonce is a better singer than Mariah Carey, I might punch him in the fucking face. Like I might.
They deserve to get a chair
Yeah.
thrown at them.
Because when she had, what was her first song? Where she basically fucking broke glass everywhere.
That's almost
like,
every song.
yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Heroes.
Jesus Christ.
She had
Yeah.
a lot of hits.
She didn't
Yeah,
covered
I'm
a
a-
Michael
I
Jackson
mean-
song.
Yeah, I have to agree with Kronos for the most part about Beyonce versus J Lo. I mean, I think they're both iconic.
Yeah.
However, I think that J Lo and Beyonce are both. I think they both are good dancers.
Beyonce has.
I can't.
a-
But I would definitely say J Lo is definitely a better actress than Beyonce.
It's not
For
question.
sure.
She couldn't
Yeah.
even fucking play a fucking animated line. And
God
Oh,
dang!
You saw that movie, right?
I
Dang.
unfortunately saw
Oh,
it.
she ruined it.
She was. I mean, she was a decent actor in what was that movie?
The one with
Powers?
Idris.
Yeah.
The one where she got outacted anyway. Or
Oh,
Son.
the
got
one with
outsung.
Eddie Murphy and American Girl. No.
Well, there was the preacher's wife. There was also.
No, there
Oh,
was
there's a
There
one
was
with
Psycho.
Glitter?
Well, she was a
No.
singer in the show.
Oh,
Oh,
Dreamgirls.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
she got-
yeah.
But she got outsung by a fucking old girl.
Jennifer Hudson.
Jennifer-
Yeah,
Yeah,
and-
like by, significantly.
Yeah, but there's also she was in that movie with Idris.
Yeah, with the psycho chick from.
That was what's her name from Heroes.
Yeah, the chick from E-Heroes.
Oh shit, I can't think of her
Yeah,
name.
I would even put them in almost two different because there is a significant age gap. I'd put them
Yeah,
almost in two different half generations.
Yeah, and I think also because the way things are now in terms of the hive and just them being just Twitter and just whatever you say one bad thing, then you have a mob of fucking ants coming out of a fucking anthill to attack you on fucking Twitter if you say anything about Beyonce. Where J Lo was more '90s, late '90s before the whole Twitter and before the internet, where all just people could just influence shit just by typing on a fucking keyboard and being annoying.
J-Lo came the fuck. She had nothing given to her.
From
I
the
remember
block.
when she was a fucking fly girl.
From the block.
She was literally a backup dancer. Yeah. She didn't have anybody helping her.
No.
on in living color.
Yeah.
Didn't
Oh.
have daddy's money.
The actress is Ali Lauder. There we go.
Daddy kicking people out the group.
Ah,
I
Damn.
heard they get back together though.
It's at Hey It's Stitch on Twitter. Come at me, Beehive. J Lo is the
You're
queen.
gonna be so mad.
They are gonna be mad. But I tell
Extra
you what,
mad at you.
Hoes mad.
Damn.
they were still wrong a couple years back when all these beehives were buzzing about she gonna leave Jay-Z. Remember that bullshit?
Still together.
And they just got another kid
I was
now.
like, you don't find another Hova.
Especially now he hit a billion.
He did hit a billion. Shout out to
He's still-
him.
Is it? Who makes them more? Who's got higher net worth?
Oh,
He does. She does. Or he does.
No, Jay-Z by a
Yeah,
long.
Okay.
By himself,
Okay.
By himself.
he's a billionaire.
Okay.
Jay-Z is super impressive from a business entrepreneurial standpoint for certain.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna go.
And she married better too.
Yeah.
In terms of J Lo.
So
J-Lo's never
whoa.
married. So this is my one criticism with J-Lo, like legit.
Right, she's
She doesn't. She needs to shut the fuck up about relationships, because she was talking some bullshit about men are basically useless before they're 30. Bitch, so are women. Like, we're all fucking retarded before we're 30. Like, so get the fuck out of here. And she hasn't been married at all.
She's been married. She married Mark Anthony.
Oh, I'm sorry. She's been like divorced. She's been on and off.
She was married before Mark Anthony.
Yeah, you see the problem here? You see the problem here? She doesn't know what the fuck she wants either. She's 50 years old, not married, and has been with multiple different people and doesn't know what the fuck she wants. So for her to give advice about men not know what the fuck, like, don't get with a man before they're 30, it's like,
She got younger
get the
men
fuck
going
outta
after her.
here.
Though.
yeah, she's married.
Well,
she's
I mean, yeah, they will, but like, I
she's
understand
engaged right now to Alex Rodriguez.
But look, she's been engaged like 5 fucking times.
So funny that you said a name you have no fucking idea how.
Well, I know he's a baseball player.
yeah.
Oh, I know.
Is he an
Alex
island?
Rodriguez.
Is he a terrorist?
But I mean, this is a chick where it's
Oh, it's
like
A-Rod.
she hasn't had any
Different A-Rod.
She's had no like long-lasting relationships in her life.
No, yeah.
So it's like, the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Stop.
Like, just stop giving
Yeah.
advice and shit
Oh,
you
yeah.
have nothing about.
She was married to Mark
Just
Anthony
keep,
for
just
10
keep
years.
being the icon.
Yeah, which I mean, it's fine. I mean, you know, you're a celebrity. I understand.
Wait, she has a sister?
Life is more difficult as
What the
sort
hell?
of as a celebrity, but still,
I looked this up.
fuck out of here.
You said I got looked it up.
Her name is Linda Lopez, and she's a journalist.
Oh shit,
Oh.
she's all serious.
What she look like?
I don't know. I'm looking at her.
What she looked like? Oh, my
nothing-
God.
nothing like her.
Doesn't like her sister.
You still got to marry in that family though.
No, you don't. I still like that.
I'd
Yeah.
marry in that family.
Why would
I
you
think
marry-
if I was married to her, I'd
why,
be.
why would you marry in the family?
It's fucking set for life.
You ain't getting. What makes you think that J-Lo money goes down to her sister
Because
money?
they sisters.
How,
They say
how much money?
fucking-
How much money you give to your sister?
I don't. Because I'm a brother versus sister. They stick together.
No, they don't.
Yeah,
Get the
I
fuck
don't
outta
know.
here. If you were a fucking billionaire, how much money do you give your sister?
If I was
How
a
much?
billionaire,
Yeah.
I don't know. She'd be comfortable.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I would. I mean, I'd make sure she's a billionaire. She'd be comfortable.
Yeah, I might.
Yeah.
But that's
Yeah,
still.
billionaire because you just throwing money.
Yeah, I ain't giving her hundreds of millions of dollars, but she
it
ain't
doesn't.
going.
It doesn't guarantee that you're gonna pass that money on to somebody's spouse.
Her house, yeah, they ain't gonna have regular people bills.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
funny. I'm looking at Linda's her Instagram, and like probably every other picture is Jennifer Lopez. Like Jennifer Lopez on stage, them hanging out.
Her name is Jennifer Lopez. Y'all watch South Park, you understand that.
Yeah. Dude, speaking of South Park, so when I had a layover, and I think I was in Denver, and in the airport, they had a fucking city walk, and right when I saw it, I started fucking like the sweetest understand why I was laughing. I was laughing so fucking hard. I'm like, she's like, why are you laughing? I'm like, oh, they have a shitty walk here.
Oh god.
That's so fucking funny.
So what is going on? And Prodigy stepped out at just the wrong time. Your favorite B-list actor Idris not being able to bring in the money for Fast and Furious.
God
What
dang.
happened? What happened to your boy?
He's not even top billing. This is a Rock movie. What are you
Yeah,
talking
it's
about?
a Rock movie.
This is Rock and Jason Statham. Rock is top billing.
Did he? Oh, I thought it was gonna do good. It didn't do good.
It
What?
did, I mean, it
I'm
made,
just reading what it says here. I don't know. It was
I don't know who put this on here, but I know it made like 100 million over the
Did it
weekend.
really?
But it's the
I
lesson.
guess.
See, they said it was gonna make like 50 something. I was like, that show's got big,
Oh,
big
maybe.
energy. So get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, maybe I think worldwide over 100 million. I have no idea what it made domestically.
But I think on here it says compared to all the other the franchise.
Yeah, because like I think 2 of them hit $1 billion. I know one of them.
I mean, they
for
had
sure
some bad
did.
one. Tokyo
Tokyo Drift,
was
yeah.
sort of like the one that everyone laughs at and everything.
Yeah, that one's
It's
fucking horrible.
still though they making 9, maybe 10 of these fucking movies.
It made $180 million.
There you go.
That's pretty
So
fucking
put
good for a
this fucking
spinoff.
up here. I'm
The fuck?
getting led with false fucking
Well, no,
stuff
it's-
on our
on here,
rundown.
I didn't put this on here, but it's saying on here that it made the lowest of the franchise. It's like basically like how Star Wars, how fucking
What,
last whole.
Solo.
what did it make domestically? See, I'm seeing that side.
Oh, okay, hold on. All right,
Now I'm
there's 2
confused.
sides to this.
Okay,
Okay, so it's 120 million overseas, so that means like 60 million.
60 million. Okay,
Oh, it made
that's bad.
74 million domestically.
But it's not bad. It's still money.
Yeah.
Like this is the Avatar problem. Okay, so people don't understand this shit because we're fucking Americans. All right, something can not do good in America, but if it's still making money overseas, is there really a fucking problem? If you still Avatar made the vast majority of its money overseas. Most of it was not made in America. So money is money.
Not
just because it's foreign money doesn't mean shit.
Not only that,
people
like,
are watching it.
what is it that makes it unsuccessful? Like, does every movie need to be $1 billion? No. Like, it needs to at least make back its budget, which it did.
The start is the third best Fast and Furious franchise.
Oh, top 3?
Yeah, so who put this on
See,
here?
this is what happened.
What did the last one make?
So this is what happens when you have the
this-
Oathbreaker lead you into stuff like this.
We need to vet
Yeah,
the list.
it did good. Like, what the fuck? Americans are assholes.
Yeah.
Just because something doesn't do good in America, it doesn't mean that we're the be-all, end-all. Yes, we're the biggest market for a lot of shit, but people still watch movies in other countries, and it did way better overseas than it did in America. So yeah, it made $60 million domestically, but it made an additional $120 million in international box office. So
Okay, so I'm looking
there's no
at.
losing here.
I'm on Box Office Mojo, and so the Hobbs and Shaw, as far as for opening weekend, it's the second lowest of the 9 movies, with Furious 7 being number 1 for opening
I
weekend.
think you're looking domestic though.
Well, yeah, I'm looking domestic, but that's what
Yeah.
that's what whoever put this on here. I'm
That's
assuming
most
it's-
likely the Oathbreaker.
Yeah.
Trying to stir the pot.
He's just saying that it's the lowest out of the franchise. But as far as like it doing well in the box office,
See, he
Domestically.
did the same
Yeah.
shit. He did the same shit with when Solo came out. I mean, it didn't make as much as the other Star Wars film, but 300 million. Most films don't even make that.
We'll interrogate him next week on this. What his agenda was for this.
He's saying, well, he's probably saying, I know what he's going to say. This is a $1 billion franchise. This movie's not going to make $1 billion. How many of those films made $1 billion?
No, it still might make $1 billion. I keep saying it. People keep fucking forgetting. Goddamn Avatar didn't do good the opening weekend. It didn't do good for a long time. The same thing with the other, I think the other Fast and Furious movies too.
Well, yeah.
They did good in America, but they did better overseas.
So for Furious 7, it did at the lifetime of the movie, it made $353 million here in America, but domestically it made $1.1 billion.
You mean
No,
total
no,
or
no.
foreign? You're reading that wrong.
No, domestically it made $353 million,
Yeah. What?
but domestically, foreign it made
Yeah.
$1.1 billion.
Exactly,
That's what you meant to
I'm
say.
saying.
Yeah.
So,
So
it's-
76% of their revenue came from foreign.
yeah, that's what people don't understand.
That's
Money is
almost-
money.
That's
Yeah.
almost $2 billion on there. Almost.
That is.
And I think the Oathbreaker was starting some shit there, fucking up.
Well, I want to see this movie. It looks fucking dope, and I just want to see the scene with the fucking motorcycle. That's all I want to fucking
There's,
see.
I wanna
there's
see it too.
I saw it yesterday. There's several scenes with the motorcycle.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
a lot.
I want that fucking bike.
Good luck with that shit. You ain't that like.
Like that bike is now it's that bike. I gotta see the movie first, but that bike, Akira's bike, and then the motorcycle from the Dark Knight Rises or Dark Knight.
Oh.
Even though I hear that thing's fucking hard to fucking drive,
So
it
I'm
just looks fucking dope.
since we're talking about movies, I'm a little bit torn because I'm on record for saying I hate remakes and blah blah blah, especially for like classic movies. I don't want a fucking Coming to America 2. However, this Top Gun 2 thing looks
They got your dick hard, didn't
kinda
they?
dope. So is this motherfucker really in the plane? Tom Cruise?
He might be.
Knowing him,
probably.
knowing
Knowing
Tom
him?
Cruise,
Yeah, knowing him.
knowing
He
him,
talked his way in
might-
that fucking F-14.
Jumping out of fucking a Halo or
That was
whatever.
F-35.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
the one
Because the
scene I saw
F-14's
was
got
the,
F-14's got retired.
F-14 is old as fuck, man.
well, yeah. I mean, that was the one in the first one,
Yeah,
but
he
I
was-
thought
he was in F-35.
maybe the ones that I saw was they were clipping the old ones with the new ones
They
and
were.
stuff, and they show where he's in the cockpit
Okay.
or whatever.
So I hope in this one, I think he's in the Air Force, right? In the
Yeah.
movies.
Navy.
Yeah, he's in Navy.
He's in, okay, good. That's great. Because if he's in the Navy, because so the Marine Corps has their F-35 variant can fucking hover.
Oh,
It's
okay.
fucking insane.
Yeah,
Like
it's
the
got
Harrier.
Yeah, it replaces it's gonna replace the Harrier eventually, but basically the top opens like behind the cockpit, and a fucking giant fan is in there, and then in the back of the plane, the fucking where the jet is, it
Tilts down.
fucking tilts down,
Yeah.
and you can hover on the motherfucker. It's fucking insane.
It's only for a couple of like minutes though, right?
You
or
can
else
do it
it
for a
like
while.
fucking overheats.
No, you can do it for a while because the fan on the top is what is
circulate the air.
basically hovering you, and the nozzle in the back is what's basically moving you around.
Fucking crazy.
So
Yeah, this
I
movie
might
looks fucking dope.
I might fucking watch this because Tom Cruise is fucking icon.
Yeah.
He's crazy, but he makes good movies.
He
Yeah.
makes good movies. He's always running. doing
Ride motorcycles.
impossible white man stunts and
Yeah,
shit.
I mean,
He's like
you
5'4".
You saw the last Mission Impossible,
seen
right?
it.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, see, I saw that. That Halo jump was dope.
Yeah.
I gotta say.
So you know what's crazy? I'm pretty sure this is accurate, but I read somewhere that he has a writer on his contract for any movie that he makes. He has to have a running scene and a motorcycle scene.
Yeah, it sounds right.
So
Just like Samuel L. Jackson has in his clause, he has to have a date to golf. Like, I believe once a week. It's in his contract, he has to golf.
Okay,
And
in,
use the word motherfucker at least once.
yeah, in the trailer I'm seeing it's an F-18 that I'm seeing that they're bringing up, not the 35.
He probably, I'm pretty sure
it's
there's
not
more than
Lightning
one.
too?
There's
Huh?
It's probably more than one, but I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure
it's
I saw
probably more
Lightning
than
2 in there.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think there's I guess the homegirl from the first one came out of the woodworks. Where the fuck
Oh,
she's
Kelly
been.
McGinnis.
Yeah, I
Oh,
guess she was
comes
saying
back.
something about how, they didn't approach her to be in the movie because she's too old and fat now.
Bye.
Damn.
It's not about you.
Yeah.
It's about these planes and Goose.
Goose. Well, Goose is dead, isn't he?
Goose-
Now,
But
see, I'm gonna have
his
some
son's
problems.
alive, apparently.
Is Goose's son gonna get killed? So I'm gonna have some problems.
Oh,
Goose son is going to be in it?
yeah, he's in the film.
Oh.
Because I know Val Kilmer's not going to be in it because he's fat too.
Apparently, Val Kilmer is in it.
Oh, wow.
Oh, jeez.
I guess he can plump up.
He's also he's in the Jay and Silent Bob reboot. That reboot, I'm fucking watching. I don't give a fuck what you try to
How are they
say
going to
about
reboot it? Because are you going to have like different people play Jay and Silent Bob?
that. No, Kevin Smith and Jason Mewes are in it, but they basically are remaking Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. So it's and they make fun of reboots and remake in the film.
I think
so it's
Stitch is correct.
fucking great.
I thought I saw F-35 in there, though. So I guess it was the F-18, but I'm pretty sure the F-35 is going to be in there.
Oh yeah, it's probably like the new.
They gonna fucking have his old ass shoot down the F-35 with the F-18, and I'm gonna be mad
I know Tom, he does have his pilot license because
he was inverted.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, he has his pilot license because I know like he
Swing
was
trader
being
from
sued.
Investors
I guess there
Business
was an
Daily
action
helps
scene
you
where
make
the
more money.
stuntman died and the family like sued him because they're like he has a pilot. Like why wasn't he the one flying?
Watch this fucking futuristic shit right here.
So those of you who are listening, we're watching
A
fighter jet.
I need
I
to go
love
to
fucking
Fleet
jet
Week.
planes, dude.
Yeah.
What?
Oh, it's hovering. There we go.
So it
With its
flies?
landing gear
See how
out.
it's opening?
It looks like the cockpit is
Oh,
open.
here, I'll show the viewers. Check this shit out. This is F-35. It's going to hover. See how, like, behind the cockpit, something opens up?
Yeah, it looks like the
the pilot's about to
cockpit
eject.
open. Yeah, it looks
Yeah.
like the cockpit open is about to pop out.
Now I would assume this is just mainly for what, just landing purposes in
was
terms
my-
of like
I think
when
it's
this would,
for-
where they would use this. 'cause
I
for
think
a
it's
lot
for
of-
spraying fucking lead.
It also helps for, actually, no, you don't want to...
I don't think you would just shoot like that.
No, you
Yeah, I
don't want to
think-
shoot like that.
Yeah.
It's for recon.
Okay.
It helps a lot with recon.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
And
the
you could just sit there for a while. And it also helps if you're on landing on a
aircraft carrier.
aircraft carrier, you can just
Okay.
drop.
Yeah.
So when I was on LHA, it was LHA 3. I was on the Bella Wood back in like 2002. There was Harriers on it, and they would basically they would hover on the top of the aircraft, the carrier. It's not really an aircraft carrier, but it is a carrier. And then they would cut it at like 5 feet, and it would just fucking drop and hit the ground.
Okay.
So, but yeah, right there, it's hovering in midair. See in the right here on the bottom, you can see like where the nozzle points down instead of
Yeah.
back,
Yeah, actually.
and then they just fucking hover.
Yeah, and it's
So-
like moving too to move the plane. That's kind of fucking dope.
So those of you going to Area 51 next month, you're probably gonna see these. They're probably gonna be like, get off the fucking
They ain't
premises.
gonna waste the time. They just gonna be fucking soldiers ready,
F-35.
ready in the
or unless they get
towers.
landmined.
I wonder if they have that in
People
in Ace
picking up
Combat.
shifts.
They probably do.
They probably do.
I
wonder
don't
if
know.
they
if
There's
you
so
can
many
hover
goddamn
like
planes
that.
in that game. It's
Yeah.
hard to fucking say.
Yeah, I
I'm
got
gonna
my.
look it up next time I play.
Yeah. Once I got like upgraded to like the F-22, I was like, good.
Yeah.
now I'm ready to shoot shit.
So
I'm gonna take the wheel. I got some news for the crew.
I was about to ask, what's this news you?
Yeah.
talking about?
I was hoping Project would be here too, but so I know Stitch. I mentioned like him and his ladies having a baby.
Oh shit!
Well,
Dun, dun,
the
dun.
Sweetest and I are fucking homeowners.
Oh, there you go.
Her and I, we signed paperwork yesterday, and we get our keys on Friday. And it's fucking crazy because we bought a house here in Hayward. So and what's so funny? I'm like 7 minutes away from here.
Really?
I'm super fucking close here. I'm
Nice,
like
nice.
right off of B Street,
Okay, yeah.
and like my backyard is pretty similar to here. Like I have a creek in the backyard, so there's like deers and shit that runs by. So I have no neighbors behind me.
Are you on the same creek as me?
No, it's like it's a different creek, but yeah, it's still very close. But yeah,
So did Kathy find it?
yeah, no. Like the Sweets and I were using like online sites and we stumbled across it,
okay.
but like she's the one that like had us go in the right direction. But yeah, it's pretty exciting. Like it's a 3-bedroom, 1 bathroom. It's got a nice big backyard with like a lot of trees and stuff like that. It's in a quiet area, so there's not like a lot of street traffic. It's kind of like not a cul-de-sac, but like it's a street that goes in and then comes back out. So like nobody's gonna be like going that way. Like could be very low traffic. But yeah, I mean, it's been a crazy road because like trying to buy a house it's an emotional roller coaster because
Especially here in California.
yeah, especially here in California. But like I did like this. So I advise anybody who's like looking to buy a house. They have programs out there for first-time home buyers where like you can learn about different programs that are out there. So for the Sweetness and I, we got a Cal HEFA loan, which it's a California state loan, but if you can pay 5%, they'll cover the 95%. But what's also cool about this program, if you don't have that 5%, you can get a down payment assistant loan, which would be for 3%, and then it'll get like another down payment assistant for another 3%. So that extra 1% you can use for your closing costs. So it's basically the Sweetness and I got the house for no money down, but we had to pay closing costs, which came to about $20,000.
Okay.
It's mainly based on the price of the home, but that included like an insurance for the year and some other fees and stuff like that. So it's a really cool program. There are some other little catches to it, like there's an income cap, but there's also like restrictioned areas. So like we saw one house in
No
San
Negroes in
Leandro.
this area.
No, it's not even that. It's we saw one house or basically the medium income has to be a certain amount, and since our income was higher than the medium, we could buy a house in the area. You can buy a house in the area. It's just that the interest rate will be higher.
Okay.
And I think it's like a point higher. So instead of it being like 4.5, it'd be like 5.2 or something like that.
That's way too fucking much.
Yeah.
Well, in today's time.
Yeah. But it's a cool program. But there's other ones out there. So if you make like a certain amount, there's this one called there's a grant out there. I can't think what it's called, but there's a company that will pay 5% of your down payment, and as long as you live in a house for 3 or 5 years, you don't have to pay them back. So it's basically fucking free money, which is kind of cool. But we didn't qualify for that because there's an income cap for that shit too. But yeah, if you have a chance, if you're in the Bay Area, look up Project Sentinel. They have like
Sentinel.
You going against mutants or what's
basically
going on
that's what I said when I
No.
when I was talking to our financial advisor. He's like, yeah, you should check out this Project Sentinel. I'm like,
here?
am I gonna get fucking is Riker gonna come out and be like, hey, are you a fucking mutant?
Fuck that mutant agenda.
Yeah. When I first walked in there, I was like, fuck this mutant shit. But yeah, so Project Sentinels, it's a local course. It's not a local course. It's a local company, and they help you try to buy your first home. And there's like all different kind of programs out there. Every city has special programs. It's good to get into it sooner because a lot of times they cap out. So yeah, definitely look into that if you're trying to buy a house. And you don't have to buy like some fancy ass house. You can probably get like a condo or something just to kind of get your foot in the door. But there's a lot of stuff I learned because like they talk about like so with the class they have somebody come in there who's a realtor, somebody who's a mortgage broker, insurance person come in there, and then there's somebody comes in there that does like special programs stuff like that. Like for example, there's one in San Jose called it's called Help. Like it's HEPLP and it means for something, but basically what it is they'll help you pay 17% of your down payment, so that way you don't have to pay like PMI, which is private mortgage insurance. They'll help you pay for that, so you don't have to end up paying for that. But the catch of their fucking program is, okay, so say you bought a house for $100,000, right? And you got a loan from them, and they pay like 17% or whatever. So say like your house went up in value, like say it magically became $1 million. If you don't pay them back that 17% before the first 10 years, they get 17% of the value of the house when it sells.
Oh shit.
Which is, it's cool because they let you into the door and like you got like a house or whatever, and you still got the other equity outside of that 17% that they take, but it's like that's a lot of fucking money, but you're going a ways.
Yeah,
But
so if you're looking at buying a home right now, this is like one of the best times to buy a home in America. Seriously, no matter where you live, because the rates are so ridiculously low right now, and they keep dropping it. It's gonna come back up. It has to because it's honestly too fucking low right now. It doesn't make any sense why it's so low right now. I think they're artificially making it lower for some reason, just to get people to like pretend that the economy is okay, but it's really not. So, but if you can definitely get into a home right now, do it because rates are going to go up in the next 2 to 3 years, probably less than that, because it doesn't make any sense to why the rates right now are so low. Because I just I refinanced last month, and I saved like $300 in my mortgage, so like instantly, actually more than $300, and it's only because the rates dropped, and they just dropped again for some reason.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and it's just like it doesn't make any sense why they keep dropping it. Like it needs to be a stable number, and I think they're artificially kind of boosting up the economy. It doesn't really make it. These have consequences.
What's crazy is that when I was in Indiana, I was just out of shit and giggles. I was looking to see what I could get there for what I'm paying here.
A county.
And it was like, yeah, basically, I could buy like a fucking there was one property that was like the house was like 4,000 square feet, but the lot was like 12,000 square feet. It's like, god damn, and it was insane.
Yeah, you need like sheep and all kinds of
Yeah.
farm animals.
When
and
I went
shit.
to Washington, I was like, I can afford what?
Yeah.
Hold the fuck on.
Yeah, it's
fucking wild.
fucking insane. But yeah, we're super excited. So we get our keys on Friday. That's why I asked about MMA MMA Rob. I had to hit him up and ask him because I know he does electrical stuff. Because the house needs a little bit of rewiring. Like half the house is grounded. Like it has a 3-plug that works, but the other half isn't.
Yeah.
So they remodeled like the kitchen and stuff like that. So that's all newly rewired. But the bedrooms all have like 2 prongs, and the house still has fucking like fuses. Not circuit breaker, if you go into your house or you have like a little circuit breaker that's in the garage, this one have like little glass fuses that you have to screw in, and if they pop, you have to like replace them completely and get new ones.
They even sell those fuses anymore?
They do, and they're kind of expensive. They're like $25 or
How
something.
many amps is that house?
It's only 100 amp.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. You'll be okay for a little while, but you're gonna have to.
Yeah, so we're looking into upgrading it.
It's not cheap. It's thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah, we know. It's gonna be
Okay.
like, from what Cassie said, it's gonna be like $8,000.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I was worried when I got this place because I was like, this house isn't big and I have a lot of electrical requirements. And then I went to the panel and I was like, just to see what the amps were, and I had enough. Like way more than enough. I don't know who the fuck upgraded it, but it's like this is basically I have enough amps in this house for like a 3-story fucking house.
Yeah.
I was just like, what the fuck? So we're good. I got lucky. But,
Yeah, so like I met Cassie's sister. Like she came and helped out
yeah.
for something because we had the home inspector come through, and it was the same home inspector that you had, Michael Chow, something like that.
yeah.
That guy was really cool. But so we're super excited.
They're like a team.
Yeah.
So
did everyone watch The
can we
Boys?
go? Thank you.
Oh
Damn,
God,
I
let's
wanna
talk
get to
about
that.
it. You watched it, right? The Boys.
Oh, I got to pee, but I'm gonna hold.
Yeah, I did in like 48 hours.
Oh, so
Shit.
before we talk about The Boys, real quick, apparently we're in with Amazon now.
Oh.
So I have access to Carnival Row.
Oh, right on.
Like the entire series.
Oh, because that comes out Labor
Remember
Day?
Carnival Row. I put it in the chat group. Remember the trailer?
Oh, the one that
it's-
you
with
just
the
showed.
fairies and shit?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So we have access to Carnival Row, but I need to change over in the background, like to get it to the whole, like all of us, not just me.
Yeah.
Like we fucked up. I fucked up basically because when they gave me access to everything, but not everyone.
Tied it to your personal. Yeah.
Yeah, so I need to get it to the podcast account. So, but I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna start watching it probably tomorrow with the family, and see how, because it looks interesting. It's Orlando Bloom and that one chick that was in
Cara
Suicide
Delevingne.
Squad. Yeah, she was in Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Is
But
she the one with the blue eyes? The one that played.
She was Enchantress.
she's
Chances,
pretty, but I
yeah.
don't know why.
Yeah, exactly right.
I sorry, I don't know why she's pretty.
I don't know why either. It's like, why is she so hot? She should like half my body's like she should be hot, but she's like super fucking hot.
She is. So
Especially when she was in Enchantress, it's like she's all dirty and shit. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my god, something about her.
congrats for being unconventionally hot. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't understand it, but you're hot. So
Rack my brain.
yeah. Anyway, on to The Boys. Yeah. So I think last time we talked only about 2 episodes.
First 2 to 3?
So we've all completed the series, right?
Oh, yeah.
Thank fucking God. All right,
I
so
think
We were waiting on this
the
dude.
Oathbreaker.
He wasn't
Yeah.
here.
Well, he's not here
Christ.
now, so
Yeah, so let's just fucking spoil the shit out of this show. So if y'all haven't watched the show, we're gonna fucking spoil this show. You should have watched it because we kept pumping it up. It's a great fucking show.
Yeah.
What
like-
did y'all think about this series?
It's great.
Yeah. I've said this in the chat room. Basically, Amazon was like, they saw how Marvel was making badass fucking movies and DC was okay with their movies and shit like that. And Amazon was like, fuck heroes, and like made heroes look like fucking assholes, which makes sense because if you have all that power, you know, you're going to end up with a few crazies.
I did hear, I was listening to a podcast talking about it, and pretty much Amazon let them put everything that they wanted to,
Almost.
except for the scene. There's a scene where I guess he's jerking off
Yeah, that scene's gone.
onto the city of New
Yeah.
York or whatever.
He says, "I
He's
can
sitting on
come all
top
over
of
the
like a
city."
building or whatever,
What the
Homelander or
fuck?
whatever.
Oh, God.
And he's
damn.
just beating his dick or whatever just because he's fucking narcissistic like that, and just
Yeah.
to say I came on fucking the city or whatever. And they were like, well, why is this? We don't think it matches well or whatever. I was like, it would have been perfect.
It would have been.
It would have been fucking hilarious.
Well, actually, the way that they wrote the show, I can understand why it's not in the show. Because in the show, he's so fucking awkward and weird that it's almost like you don't understand how much of a shithead he is until like the end. You know what I mean? Like you don't understand his motivations. You don't understand a lot about him. You just know that he has all this power and that he's really awkward. And so the way that they wrote him in the show, I can understand why it didn't fit in the show. Because it would have been kind of weird for this guy because he didn't do any other sort of sexual acts up until like the end of the show, like literally like the last fucking episode.
There's something involving him in the
Wonder
titties,
Woman?
Still
Yeah,
lactating titties or whatever.
Yeah.
So he's
Oh,
got
yeah.
some weird niche.
Mommy issues, which
that
kind of
true,
makes sense,
but,
though.
But before that, though, like there was that was like the last 2 episodes, you know, where he had like no sexual proclivities like whatsoever before that, you know,
Right, yeah,
not even hinted to.
It's just. I always had. I was like, something's off about him.
Yeah,
But
he
I
definitely
always,
was off.
I
Yeah.
always knew that he was just by even watching how the other members of the Seven interacted with him. They were scared to death of this dude.
Oh,
or
yeah.
Yeah.
whatever. Like they're just on pins and needles and fucking just like
The dude was basically
scared
Superman.
to fart, except
Yeah.
for Black Noir because
Yeah,
Black Noir
he's-
is fucking.
He doesn't say shit.
You guys know you can't see his
y'all
face.
been fucking up, except you, Black
alright,
Noir.
so-
Y'all been great.
Yeah.
You've been great.
Let's rewind though. So I think the last time we talked about this, we're on episode 2, and this is before they introduced the female, Kimiko, I think her name was.
Yeah.
Oh, the Kimiko
okay.
came in like episode 5.
Lady Deathstrike.
Was it?
Yeah,
Alright.
she came in like real late into the
She
series.
just come in not real late. She comes in a little bit through.
Well, I think so. The series, I'm not sure like when exactly they wrote the comic, but I think they might have added in additional social media content into this show because it couldn't have, I don't think it was
sure it
recent. Let me see.
I thought I
Look
heard
it
something.
up.
It was like a
Well, I know Amazon had. I got like an email saying that hey, we have the comic to
2000s-ish.
Yeah,
boys
it's a
that you
comic.
can get for free.
Yeah, I don't think the comics.
So wait, is it based off of comics? Not a.
Yes, it
Yes,
is
yeah.
a.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
But it had to been no. So this isn't it. So I look up the boys comic release date, and then of course, okay, yeah, it started in 2006.
Okay.
So 2006, social media wasn't shit. It was fucking MySpace, y'all.
Yeah.
And it had no
MySpace, Facebook was just starting.
Yeah, there's no influence on fucking social media. So
Yeah.
the way they wove in social media into the show was fucking genius.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's crazy.
Oh,
So
it was by Wildstorm.
yeah,
And
it has 2
then
publishers
Dynamite,
because they
yeah.
get kicked out and then they went to Dynamite.
Yeah, but it's by Garth Ennis. But I mean, the way that they wove in social media into the show, it's a perfect social commentary to today on how we value social media over like real life. I was talking to Kamek the other day. This is a weird segue, but it comes into this conversation about how like we're losing like a lot of jobs, like in general, especially in America, for like automation and shit like that. But we somehow made bullshit jobs, like social media influencers. Like those are not real jobs. And don't get me wrong, like technically, I guess you can consider us influencers, but that's not a real fucking job. It's totally not. And the fact that we pump it up like it's some big thing, it's just some person that likes the thing that you might happen to like, but it's not a real thing. And I think they do a perfect social commentary on how social media corrupts people on this show, and it corrupts superheroes on this show because they're literally doing things for likes and clicks and ads and shit like that.
Yeah,
and people don't fucking realize it.
It's basically for sponsorship.
Yeah, but their end game is to try to influence and get them into the military.
Yeah,
So
but the influence is through social media
right,
means.
right.
Yeah.
They're using social media to sway in the first 48 hours. So I'm a little bit
so
rusty
good.
on.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a little bit
Yeah.
rusty on the exact, because the girl, the
Kimiko,
Wonder
the
Woman?
female.
the blonde chick running the show.
Oh, yeah.
Still
Sparkle.
Starlight.
Yeah.
Starlight.
Do we
Oh,
know what
Bonner.
her end game is with? Is she just after the money being and the power with being inside
Well, no.
with the military, or did she have like some sort of
Oh, you're talking about Starlight? Or are you talking about
the-
Stillwell?
Stillwell.
Oh,
Oh.
I'm trying to remember
Stillwell. I think
No,
Stillwell.
she's just trying to expand the company's influence.
to
Yeah.
get them tied in
That's
and
all.
get a
But-
contract
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
military.
You
She's
get
for-
a contract with the military, you're fucking golden.
right.
Yeah.
So, but it's
Yeah.
just about money. It's not about her all of a sudden. She's
Taking over or some shit.
Yeah,
Nah.
I think
some
she
Doctor Doom.
I
type-
think she wanted
No.
the presidency
No,
because she
no,
was
no.
talking about
What kind of
upgrading.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hold on. We're going a little bit too far in the series.
Okay.
We can get to that point.
All right.
Because that's like at the fucking end. Okay,
Yeah.
we gotta talk about Giancarlo Esposito.
Oh yeah,
Because-
he's like that. He's in the very
because-
last episode.
Because I fucking thought that she was the top chick,
Yep,
but she is not.
she's on level 6 and he's on level 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta remember it now.
Yeah, they promoted her in that episode.
Okay.
She won't be seeing it.
So we'll go back to the beginning.
Yeah, but let's rewind.
Okay.
So last time we talked about it was on episode 2. I think that was episode 2 was when they blew up Translucent.
Yes.
And so in episode 3, it was
Which was
kinda like
fucking great.
yeah, they shoved C4 up his ass, blew his ass up, and the rest of him, and that shit was great. And episode 3 was kind of like the fallout from that. They had to clean up Translucent. They had to fucking basically find a place to put his body, like the pieces that they could, because his skin was still invincible.
Yeah, yeah.
So they had no way to dispose of it.
Yeah.
So they basically put his fucking pieces of his body into a zinc lined box, and they tossed it in the fucking ocean.
But
It's
they
trippy,
had
though.
a message in there for
But Homelander was on that
Homelander.
shit. He was like, "Where
No,
is he?"
He was on it, but
He's
he's
like-
not the one who found him.
What? Yeah, it was the deep. or
Nope.
whatever.
No, it was a dolphin.
But
Well,
A
well,
dolphin
I mean-
found it in the deep, and they told the deep about it.
Yeah, but Homelander was just like,
Where's my homie?
Yeah, where's he at? You don't think this is weird? Blah blah blah.
They're probably
Well,
like,
Stillwell was kind of trying to still move and position her fucking
But
likes
then, like,
in
the
account.
problem was that nobody was kind of looking for him because I guess the Translucent is known for doing shit of like just going
was.
disappearing.
Just,
Like he
well,
does,
they
but-
knew that he was a perv, so they figured someone would run into him and he was jerking off somewhere in like the girls' bathroom or like girls' locker room or something.
But
They
even
kept saying
Homelander-
he's gonna turn up.
when he went into the fucking to the security office and was just like, "Where's he at?" Well, I don't know if I can be. You
know
are
you
talking
talking
to?
to? Yeah.
Yeah, he was fucking. Everyone got fucking real perked up real quick. They got lemon booty or whatever.
Did we talk about how they captured Translucent?
Well, we did. I mean, briefly, you guys weren't here, but
Okay.
we wanted to move on to episode 3 and 4. So, episode 3 was like the fallout of like we were saying, but something else happens in that episode. I'm trying to,
Starlight's pretty fucking hot.
Well, then we learned about Popclaw
Yeah.
because
Oh,
A
yes.
Train
yeah.
was smashing on Homegirl, and I guess she was holding on to his compound V, which we learned.
we
later
learned
on
in that
seeing exactly
episode.
what
I
it
think
is.
we learned that compound. They're trying to find out what compound V is.
We first kind of think it's just like a steroid kind of thing to give
Basically,
them
yeah.
an extra boost, but then we find out later on that it
It's
seems to
more.
be the mother nectar that helps create.
Mother's
The
milk.
box.
Yeah, that creates them, and that these soups weren't born this way. They were all. It seemed to be that they're all created.
Yeah,
I mean, it seems like next season they'll go a little bit more in depth into the creation process and everything, and like if they actually know that they were creative, because obviously Starlight
No.
thought she was. But in
Yeah.
terms of like Homelander,
Homelander's a special case.
well, that's why I'm kind of confused. Is like, was Homelander created or no?
Oh yeah, he was.
Oh yeah, he definitely
Okay.
is because
All
he
of-
was.
everybody-
They talk about his childhood and whatnot, but
No, they.
Was he created in said lab? Because I know they're making this whole thing to make him seem like, oh yeah, whatever in Kansas and blah 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 blah. But was he
I
straight
feel
up
like-
engineered like?
Yeah.
Oh
No,
yeah, he
so
was definitely engineered, but I think Homelander might be the first.
I think he's just the first.
No.
I don't think he was engineered. I think he was a normal baby that was probably an orphan, and they decided to pump him full of. He was the first subject to take Compound V
yeah.
Okay.
and survive.
That's
So-
why.
But he was-
that was the question I had. And then does he know that?
They all know that.
Well, no.
Well, no, I'm sorry, not all. Most of the 7 do.
Okay.
For sure, he knows. Homelander knows about it.
A-Train.
A-Train knows about it, and I think Maeve knows
Well,
about it.
I see. That's where I was confused. So I know they understand what Compound V does because he's A-Train is sort of just taking it
He's
as
a crackhead.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if he knew that that's essentially what made him. I don't know if he thinks it's a
No,
drug
no.
or if he knows it's.
He definitely knew because he was literally doing the fucking deliveries.
Well, no, I don't think so because.
He's the one who delivered them to the
Oh, that's true. Yeah, to the lab.
not the lab, but the NICUs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they were,
So
they
that's
were.
what I tracked it.
Okay.
So I mean, this kind of jumping ahead a little bit, but like they were supplying Compound V to other countries, and A-Train was
Right.
will run fucking delivering it.
But they weren't.
So-
So that's the problem. They weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
That was a Homelander thing.
Yeah.
Because it was a genius contingency plan.
Show the fuck up.
For them to create the super terrorists.
Yeah.
Yes.
whatever.
And
So-
so
so just-
Homelander knew or didn't? Because this is where I get rusty because I hadn't watched it in like 2 weeks.
That's fine.
Homelander knew about the super terrorists beforehand.
He created
created
them.
Yeah, he's the one
He
who came
gave
up with the
them
whole
the-
idea.
He gave them that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave the V, Compound V, to A-Train. A-Train delivered them around the world.
Okay. But Stillwell didn't.
Still
She
did
didn't know.
not
She
know.
did
Stillwell
not know.
didn't know about the terrorists, but she definitely knew about Compound V being given to kids.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah,
and
yeah,
she
that part,
probably
yeah, okay.
was complicit with that, but in the world of the show, the general public views the heroes as heroes, but
being
they don't.
God created.
They don't have being created by God, being chosen or whatnot, but they also don't have villains. When we see the terrorists with superpowers, that's like their first quote unquote villain,
Yeah.
Right.
which is jumping ahead way later. But
Even though technically speaking, most of the soups are villains.
yes, exactly. But the general public does
Now,
not
what
know
what
that.
did Queen Maeve do? Why is she mad? Why is she evil? I mean, she's got the fucked up relationships with the with her
She's
friend
actually
lesbian.
she's not evil.
She seems to be
Wait,
just
who?
kind of like
She's
super
complicit.
numb.
Complacent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just numb to the boys' club that she's around.
She's
and just all-
complacent to what they've all done, and she's just like, fuck it. Like you saw her humanity trying to come back
Right.
on the airplane scene, but that was one of the most fucked up scenes
That was holy
I've ever
shit.
seen in my entire fucking life.
Which we have not talked about yet.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so there's I'm gonna set the plot up or whatever. So there's a plane that's been hijacked, and it's in international waters. And homegirl, who's the head of the team,
Stillwell.
yeah, Stillwell, she tells Homeland like, hey, go there,
Great
stop the
opportunity.
terrorists, great opportunity. It's gonna look good. It's gonna look good for the people. This and that. And so Homelander and Maeve, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They go there and they break into the plane, and Homelander I-beams kills 2 of the terrorists, and he goes into the cockpit, and once he opens the door,
Doesn't he punch the one in the chest and like makes him like?
No, that was before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
so he goes into the cockpit, and there's another terrorist in there, and he's like, fuck, what he's gonna do? And he's like, I can't remember what he does, but
He has a gun to the one of the
no, but
pilots.
so the terrorist kills the pilot, but right when he does that, Homeland was basically chopped off his fucking half of
Well,
his
he
face.
laser beamed him.
Yeah, he
but
laser
it
beamed
fucked
them,
up the-
but it fucked up
console.
the cockpit basically, and the plane wasn't gonna fly anymore. So he's like, well, I guess these people are fucked.
Yeah.
Well, and Maeve was like, can you fly an airplane? And he was like, no, and even if I could, look what I did.
Yeah.
And then that's when it just became a total shit show because
But I was gonna say like his powers, like you get to learn a little bit about his powers because with Superman can lift up a plane. Like
I thought he was just
has
being
abilities.
I think he was just being
I think
lazy.
it was being lazy.
But no,
Yeah.
he like talk about how there's like no ground for him to like get leverage
But he
off
doesn't
of.
jump.
The-
He
Yeah, he doesn't
flies.
jump. He
If
flies.
he jumped, then yeah, I understand you need to push off something. But if you're flying, then you can essentially. I mean, unless he's just not strong enough to hold it up. But if he's flying, which we see
But no,
him,
that's what I'm saying. Like
they-
he's flying, but he probably doesn't have
He
enough strength
lists-
to hold
no.
the plane.
There were still ways around that. If both of them literally would have went to the wings of the plane.
Well, she
and
doesn't fly.
That's fine. She's still super strong. If both of them would have went to the wings of the plane
Oh,
and then
yeah.
grabbed the ailerons and then pulled them up or down, they could have technically flown the plane. There's
Gotcha,
ways
yeah.
around that. And what she mentions later on, was like, hey, okay, we're fucked, but can't you just fly some of them out of here?
Yeah.
And he was like,
123 times?
Yeah, and he's like, I can't do it 123 times. Like, but you can still save some of them.
Yeah, you
Like,
could.
what
But
the
no,
fuck?
but then they got witnesses.
Yeah,
But
but that's
still,
the thing.
you still save some. Nobody is ever gonna complain. A survivor is not gonna complain they got fucking saved.
Yeah.
They're not. They're gonna be like, hey, they did all they could. I got saved. I'm fucking grateful.
Yeah.
But he couldn't save everybody.
Yeah, but not only that, he had excuses because he talked about how if he came at the plane at the wrong angle, he would tear through the plane. He said
That's bullshit.
he could have. He couldn't lift it up because some bullshit. He had like literally like 4 or 5 excuses,
Yeah.
and then he was like, "Let's just go."
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
would
he
go
caught
for it.
up to the plane so he can match the fucking speed of
He
the fucking
could've.
plane.
He
Yeah.
could have pushed the back
And he-
end of the
And
plane,
he can
but he might
obviously
have
carry
torn.
things because he carried a fucking person. So at some level, he can, carry
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
And the fucking part was that there was kids. There was a mom and a kid that were on there, and then Maeve was trying to save just them, and he was still like, no, we're not saving them.
I guess it may be, but I mean, I'm not making excuses for him because it was over water, technically.
So
You can do a water landing. I mean,
Yeah.
It's not,
Well, I
not
mean,
a
yeah,
fucking
in terms of him doing it back and forth 123. I
landing.
mean,
That makes it even fucking easier. You just drop in the water.
yeah,
You don't. You honestly
slow down, drop in water,
Yeah,
come back.
You don't have to go all the way to the ground.
But
You could drop them from like fucking 20 feet
wait,
out.
with the people?
Yeah.
You can take the people and drop them like 20 feet
Oh,
out.
then he doesn't know how to swim.
So that's up to you. Still saving people. You
Yeah.
do it done in a faster manner. Whether they survive the drop, and which they will,
Yeah.
or drowning or not, they still have time.
The seats are inflatable. I mean,
So-
So,
chair
one
backs.
One
perfect
interesting-
example, Iron Man 2. Iron Man does this where people fell out of a plane and he drops them in water. He has them link up, he flew over water, and he
monkeys.
just let them go. They all landed in the
Well, then
water.
I was also thinking like in Hancock. I mean, he doesn't save any. Well, he saved what's the name when he's on the train tracks, but it's like one of those things where a superhero has so much time to fucking try to think of how to do something, and like when Hancock stopped that fucking train and like it smashed and derailed, everybody came up to him and was like, "Hey, why didn't you just fucking grab the car and fly up into the air with the car, or why didn't you just like push the car over somewhere else or carry the car somewhere else? Like all the shit he could have done, but he fucking stopped the train.
But in this instance,
But-
he had plenty of fucking
Oh fuck
time
yeah, he sure
Yeah,
fuck
he had
did.
time.
to at least save fucking somebody.
Yeah.
But he decided not to.
Yeah.
And then they're all like, well, at least save the kids. And they're like, well,
He said, "Fuck
take
these
some of
kids."
us. He said, fuck all of you.
Yeah, get
I
the
will
fuck back.
laser all of you if you don't sit the
Yeah,
fuck back
He
down.
literally made his eyes glow. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
gonna laser all of you.
Yeah.
If you don't, stay back.
It was all
Did he
fucked up.
did he cut the plane in half or
No,
that was the
no,
other
that was
one?
episode
That was
one.
just,
the other one.
yeah, that was a different episode where there was like the senator or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about that already.
Yeah.
That shit was fucked up though.
Yeah,
But yeah,
it was
that
all
whole
bad.
scene was like I was expecting like somebody to survive, but what's crazy, Homelander took this opportunity to fucking flip the situation. Like even though he went there to try to save him to be good to the public's eye, this motherfucker started crying on camera saying like
Yeah.
terrorists are bad and
Yeah.
we need to stop them.
If
That's
we
why we
had
need
a
to
no-
be in
yeah.
the
Yeah.
army. Like
If-
this motherfucker
yeah, we had known
played this
sooner,
shit.
If
blah,
we had
blah,
known
blah.
sooner, we could have saved them.
Yeah.
And like Maeve like this motherfucker.
Yeah, she didn't even want to fucking be in camera. She like it's like don't fucking
Yeah.
touch me.
Maeve.
Maeve.
And then it's like his like we talked before, his sexuality is weird because obviously him and Maeve used to date.
Yeah.
They're
or
definitely
whatever.
fucking.
Yeah.
And
But
but
then
she's like
he-
a
But Maeve was
lesbian.
gay.
Yeah, and then he's like kind of flirting with her or whatever when they're doing the thing. He's like, oh, just like old times or whatever.
Yeah,
and it
he-
looks like he's like trying to lean in.
Then he got fucking dark.
I'm
Did you,
trying-
did you notice that? He said something about like if you ever fuck anybody else, I'll kill him or something like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
want to
yeah.
have to. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
He
like
basically
super
tries to-
dark.
line like that. Yeah.
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 That's when they're like sitting on top of the building. I'm pretty sure that's probably where the scene where he was gonna jack off into this people.
I don't know. Yeah. He's all weird. I also thought the scene where the Deep is getting fingered through his gill.
Oh
was
my
later on.
god.
that was
later on,
that was
yeah.
rough.
That was hard to watch.
But his up-ins came.
Yeah.
You know?
That was
Yeah.
fucking. That was hilarious.
I love how they make him like a total environmentalist, but nobody noticed this that I've watched it with. But when he is going to Ohio and he's driving a car, did you notice what he was driving? Like when he's getting gas and they threw shit in his car.
Oh, he had a Hummer.
He's driving a
fucking
Hummer
Hummer.
H2. It's
yeah.
like one of the worst gas mileage cars of all fucking time, and he's fucking
God.
driving a Hummer H2.
it's so funny they put him in fucking Sandusky, Ohio.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh my god. I was like, there's really a Sandusky, Ohio?
Yeah.
After what
That-
had
that
happened?
water park.
No, just like, I just keep thinking about the Sandusky case from Penn
city's
State.
been fucking. They're not gonna change the name of the city because
Yeah.
some guy came along later.
Did you guys talk about the Asian girl? I know we mentioned
the
that.
female.
Yeah.
No, we have not talked about
Because
her yet.
I'm trying to think, what would you even compare it to? Because she's
Deathstrike.
got
Even though
Oh,
her
yeah?
nails don't grow, she just fucking ja da 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 da.
Yeah, but then she's also like is it Homelander? Did he? No, the guy in the black
Oh, he was
cut her up.
fucking. He was pounding her face and dribbling
Yeah.
her head on the.
But he
fucking-
he
A-Train
chopped
did,
her up
yeah.
too, and
no, you're talking, so A-Train
A-Train.
fucked her up, and then Black Noir fucked her up even worse.
Yeah.
yeah, and she fucking died, but then she's
Yeah.
got like a Wolverine healing factor and
Yeah.
came back to fucking life and shit.
That's why I was calling her
She's fucking
Deathstrike.
badass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like
So-
when she got released, it was basically like that scene from X-Men when Wolverine gets released and he just
Well,
starts killing up everybody.
Dan, we're fucking this up. We need to do better at this. All right. So we didn't explain like where the fuck they met her. Didn't explain who the fuck she is. We just talked about her. All right.
yeah,
So they found her when they were trying to find where all the Compound V was coming from because they
Yeah.
knew that A-Train was getting V from somewhere or at least supplying it to somewhere.
He
Well,
would
the
come
whole
back
reason
with
why-
Chinese noodles.
The whole
Yeah.
reason why they were like trying to figure this out because I guess they found out that A-Train was taking his V and he was on this Compound V when he killed Homegirl's girl,
Yes.
and that even leads them to what's her name, Lojaw, Popclaw, yeah.
He was kind of strangely hot too.
Yeah, she
Yes.
was, but
Yeah.
she was like ugly, but she had a body. Oh, and that one fucking scene when she's hyped up on V, on Compound V.
We'll talk about it in a minute. All right,
All
let's fucking come back to talking about the female. So they figure out, Popclaw has to go. So that actually leads into what you were talking about.
Yeah. But
Sorry,
since
they-
we were talking about it.
No. Well, they had to. The Popclaw was A-Train's girlfriend. It was like a girlfriend who you didn't want anybody
Side
to know
chick,
about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she was always like, "Oh, let's go public," and he was like, "No, that ain't me."
Yeah.
And gave all kinds of exclusives, but they would always fuck.
Yeah.
And so apparently they figured out that A-Train's girl was Popclaw, and so they bugged her house.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's when they figured out that she had V, and that there was she was a supplier of V. So they thought. And so they were doing a video thing of recording her, and she was always late on her rent, and her landlord came over and was like trying to collect rent, and she's like, isn't there some other way we can handle this?
Orange Stars.
And,
But then-
and she was a film star, so she did like a bunch of movies, and so
Yeah.
she had
And
a bunch
she's
of
got-
good pictures of her
Yeah,
in her house.
but kind of just add to that, like this happened after A-Train just won some racing event, and he had talked about how he's single and he's not seen anybody, so she was kind of depressed. So she shot up the Compound V, so she was
Yeah.
high on V when the landlord came over.
And she's like lifting all these weights, like doing all this fucking crazy shit, like
Yeah.
a fucking crackhead. And so the landlord comes over, and so they decide to do some fucking some role play
Yeah.
of him like trying to steal her panties, and she comes in and then sits on his face and is like, she's like, "Oh yeah, eat my ass," blah 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 blah, and like as she's about to orgasm, she fucking crushes his skull.
Yeah.
And they have it all on camera.
Yeah.
And right when that happens, they come in and they're like, "Oh, we got you," blah blah blah, like where's
blackmailing her.
yeah, like where are they
Where's
getting
the
the V
V?
from? Like, where's it going? And that's when they say, oh, it's coming from. I don't know where it's coming from, but every time he comes over with V, that's also kind of a plot hole for me, because he goes to Popclaw's place for the V, but he supplied her with the
That's
V.
why I was confused
Well,
at
I think-
first. I thought she was the supplier at first,
'Cause
but
he
then they
went
made
to
it
her.
sound like, well, then obviously we find out that he's just
He probably
he gets it himself.
no. I think
Yeah.
I think he just stashes a cut for himself there.
Yeah, I think he's
Well, it's just-
skimming off the top
Yeah.
and using it for the two of them.
Well,
Yeah.
They didn't make that very well known. Anyway,
Cause I think only A-Train is the one that's shooting up the V. I don't
Well,
think anybody else is using
no,
the
she
Compound
does
V.
too.
She
Well, yeah, she does too, but I don't think anybody else
In
in
it
the
for the
7.
7, yeah.
No, I
It's
think
using
that
it.
more. I think it's going to be more than just them two. So anyway, she says that she doesn't know where it comes from, but every time that he has Compound V on him, he has this place. He has these noodles from a Chinese noodle shop. So they case this place, and eventually they go in and they find that inside this place are a bunch of like Chinese gangsters or Asian gangsters. I don't know if they're fucking Chinese or not. I'm pretty sure they're Chinese though, because I'm from fucking California and I can tell Asians apart. And they find out that they have this this chick from, I think it was like Vietnam or something like that.
Yeah.
And she was stuck in like a cage in like the basement of this place. They're like, what the fuck? And
watching
so
TV.
yeah, so Frenchie like feels sympathy for her. Is like, you gotta let her out, So they let her out, and then as they let her out, like a bunch of like thugs come in.
No.
And they're like, no, stop. And then she comes out and fucking wrecks shop. She's just like barehanded, like ripping out guts, tearing people apart and shit.
Mhm.
We're just like, it's just like a little fucking girl. And me and Ninja met her in real life. She's fucking tiny.
Yeah.
She's like a
Oh,
tiny
really?
girl.
Oh, wow. Oh, yeah, you guys went
She's
to the
small.
thing. Yeah, you guys were in San Diego.
She was it was the same girl that was Suicide Squad. She
Yeah,
played
she's Katana.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, really? Oh,
Yeah,
damn.
Same actress.
That's cool.
So she's like super tiny.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's just tearing these fucking people apart. And then she runs.
Barehanded.
Yeah. Barehanded.
No
just,
shoes
like,
on.
Ripping guts out.
I will say Frenchie is my favorite actor on the show. I mean, favorite character.
like Frenchie.
He cracks me up.
Yeah, he's
or
so
whatever,
funny.
especially during the whole fucking when they're trying to blow up Translucent.
Yeah.
And
And
he
then
called the fucking idea.
I was thinking that Mother's Milk had some sort of power
I
for
thought
the
so,
first
too.
couple of things, because like I was like, he just like crazy strong or something, because
I thought
he was
I thought
like, don't make me
super
come
too.
out there, and like all the fucking boys were just like, all right.
Yeah.
So they were like scared of him and shit like that. So I thought maybe he was a super, but they kind of like,
Yeah, they
he's just
hate-
a regular, just
Yeah.
big black dude.
Well, what's interesting with Homegirl is that also like she didn't just kill those gangsters. Like she went to this fucking nail salon and fucking brutally murdered. The chick had her up and coming, but I'm assuming that she's the
We
one
didn't
that
know at
was.
the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's the one that's like
The
kidnapping
trafficker.
people. Yeah, the trafficker. I think that's why she killed
She
her. But
ripped her open.
she fucked her up.
Yeah, like real bad.
But one thing I thought the compound V was coming from that girl. Like I thought they were
No.
taking it from her blood. Well, this is before I found out exactly later on. But
Yeah.
when they showed her, I'm like, oh, she's the one. They're using her blood to make the compound V, and that's why they're trying to get her back.
So, let me rewind just a few seconds here. So you know what's weird? So I watch. So when I watched the show on a, because we had early access we talked about before to like some TV shows. Amazon is like the main one. So I watched this before it came out. I watched like the first 3 or 4 before. Actually, no. I watched all of them through the screener site. And the thing was that I never noticed until I watched it, because when I watch shows on like the TV, I watch them with subtitles on usually.
Oh yeah.
And I didn't know that when Billy Butcher was talking about Mother's Milk, he referred to him as MM.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice that until I was watching it with the subtitles on. And it was like, he called him MM for Mother's Milk. So I knew he called him Mother's Milk, but I never picked up on they kept calling him MM.
Okay.
I
Until
picked
the
that the
subtitles.
first time because like it's too long to say Mother's Milk. So when they start calling him MM, I got it.
Did they even
Oh,
explain
okay.
the nickname?
No, not yet.
no.
Not
Okay.
yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be tied to the chick
Yeah.
with like her breast milk and shit.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking maybe he got superpowers from her, but
That's what I was thinking too, and that's how Homelander got his powers. But that's
no.
not the case.
not the case. Yeah.
But yeah, so Huey asked Mother's Milk, how did he get his name? Like, is that your real name? He's all, my mom named me Mother's Milk. And then they stop it right
That's
there
bad.
because he stares him down and he gives up. He's all, yeah, okay.
But that's actually not his name.
Yeah.
Because his wife doesn't call him Mother's Milk.
No,
No, she called.
It was something else.
Yeah.
but still. So after we see,
His name is Marvin.
Yeah.
Okay.
so after we see what the female, because they don't know her name because she doesn't speak.
Mm-mm.
She seems like she's all feral or whatnot. But they collect her and they like chain her like in their little hideout, like an animal almost. Even though she kills people like an animal, but Frenchie's not too
Well-
happy about it.
Well, I think even before they captured her, like there's a scene with A-Train, because he finds her.
Was that
and he's
after
like-
she escapes or
Yeah,
before?
She escapes.
Yeah, I think that's after she escapes. Because
No.
No, this is
No,
before.
it's before.
It's before.
Yeah, it's before.
Oh,
They
okay.
follow her to the train station or whatever.
Yeah, because like, because they run to her in the train station, and like A-Train shows up out of nowhere and fucking grabs her and like goes running down the track. But what's fucking crazy about that is like she kind of wakes up and she fucking like. I thought she was about to fuck kill him the way she like grabbed his head. It was like I thought she was about to crack his head open or whatever. But yeah, she, like he ended up dropping her, and that's when A-Train like grabs her and fucking starts smashing her head fucking like rapidly into a fucking wall. But then it was crazy because homeboy, I can't remember his name. He's the one like, oh, it's that A-Train. Oh, it's that
Frenchie.
A-Train over here.
That was Frenchie.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. And then like they were able to get away with her. That's when they actually captured her.
So we're not gonna go over all the episodes tonight
Yeah.
because it would go way too long, and I'd love to talk about it, but
It's only 8 episodes, so if
Yeah.
you haven't watched it, definitely watch it. If it's haven't caught your attention, but
yeah, it's definitely a great show. We'll talk about the rest of the episodes in later episodes of this podcast. And I will also bring up my initial thoughts because it'll be under embargo until I think the 15th. So I'll be able to talk generally about Carnival's Row next week, but I won't be able to give you like my any details on it until like after the 15th. So that's the way the cookie crumbles. I follow NDAs because I'm not trying to get fucking
Dude.
our podcast fucked up over some bullshit. But to me, Carnival's Row looked like a Victorian fucking fantasy world show on Amazon Prime. Looked interesting to me. Prodigy Oathbreaker didn't seem to like the way it looked, but I do. I think Stitch, you said you like.
Yeah, it
the way
looks
looked,
interesting.
too.
Yeah,
Looks interesting.
I'm intrigued.
And I want to see what it's all about.
Yeah, I don't think I got a chance to see it.
I just saw the trailer
Following.
today. I was like, oh, this does look interesting.
Yeah, I was surprised to get an email from Amazon. They're like, "Oh, you have access to Carnival's Row," and I was like, "Okay, good to go." Hopefully, we'll get early access to Expanse as well, because that's another one that's on the docket.
So since this been on the list for a while, and it's another since we're talking about Amazon. So one of my favorite childhood fucking animes is on Amazon right now. It's Ronin Warriors or Samurai Troopers, and Amazon doesn't just have like the series on there. They have the series, they have the AOV, the OVA on there, and they also have the fucking movies. And what's so great about it is that it's fucking good, because I remember watching this as a kid, but back when we were kids, there was no DVR or something like that. So if you missed episode, that was it. Like, you weren't gonna see that episode ever fucking again. You gotta like talk to your friends and find out what fucking happened. But like, I'm actually watching all the episodes in order. But for some reason today, the series was off of Amazon Prime. I just checked right now and it's back on there. But yeah, like once I became an adult and like there was torrents and stuff like that, or not even torrents, it's like
Back around LimeWire. And
yeah,
shit.
LimeWire and shit. I was able to download the
Napster.
series, but man,
Yeah.
it took like 3 months to be able to get the entire fucking series, just because nobody else really had it, so there was no seeds out there to download from.
It's so insane how fast we can get anything from the internet right now.
That's
People
yeah.
don't really understand. Like, porn back in the day was like, you had to wait to jack off for a while.
Yes.
Like, a fucking JPEG took minutes.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Minutes.
To download,
It was
yeah.
insane.
And it wouldn't even have like resolution. It was like
Yeah.
the size of my cell phone printed on paper. It took fucking forever.
It's like nowadays you can get like a 4K high resolution goddamn, you can see a bitch's soul
yeah.
and download that shit in fucking
Minutes.
yeah. Like a whole video. It's insane. I'll just
Like
stream it,
half an
there's
hour.
no download.
Like a half an hour to 45-minute video in like
Yeah.
maybe 2 to 3 minutes
It's just crazy.
or less.
I love it though. It's
Yeah,
great.
I love it.
Oh,
I love
now
it. I love
but
it
now
in
we
the
have
age we live in.
VR, where you can get lost in the sauce.
That's
Speaking of VR, we I think I mentioned before, but sorry, when we talked about Comic-Con, I didn't talk about who we ran into, who we fuck with.
Yeah, we did a little bit.
Did we? We didn't talk. We talked about Gion.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah,
We talked about Ella
yeah.
you
Okay.
did.
No,
Yeah,
you
because I
talked-
didn't see her.
Yeah.
because we're gonna have her on again. to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about it.
Yeah, I'll
So
be
I
here.
have
know
her
she's
on again.
switching roles and like what she's doing, and I want to talk about like what she's doing going forward and stuff like that.
Dude, so just quick thing. So one thing I'm so happy about having a fucking house. I'm gonna have my own fucking room. That's gonna be like my man cave. I'm gonna set up my fucking VR, and there's a lot of fucking games I can't play because the room I had before was like very constricted. But I'm actually gonna set up in our garage because we have a 1-car garage, and I'm gonna set it up in there and just have fucking free roam, man. It's gonna be so much. It's gonna be so beautiful.
All right, let's wrap it up. Actually, it's getting kind of late.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah, it is.
We didn't talk about two things from our San Diego experience. We didn't talk about the Orville experience, which was really quick,
Okay.
and we didn't really talk about the Picard Museum.
Okay, we'll talk about both. That's fine.
So there was a Orville experience because there was an Orville panel. It was near Petco Park, but it was just like some artifacts from the show, like I guess props and stuff from the show, which was cool. They had like a model scale of the Orville ship, a bunch of the uniforms and whatnot, and then like creature
equipment.
makeup stuff.
Yeah.
They had like creature makeup of what like Bordis looks like with the mask they put over the actor that plays Bordis, and some other shit was there. It's like really quick.
They had a bunch of equipment too, like weapons and stuff like that.
Oh,
and
yeah,
medical
yeah.
equipment. It was pretty cool to see like, and this is actually not in the con. This is external to the con.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like we said before, there's like a lot of shit you can enjoy Comic-Con without actually walking the floor and paying any money for.
And if you do pay money, it's very little money.
Yeah, well, all the stuff that we went to that was external to the con,
It's free.
It was free. Yeah, it was pretty nice. And then we had was the Orville, and then
The Picard Museum.
yeah, which is cool because obviously Jean-Luc Picard from the Next Generation of Star Trek, it's coming back, which is going to be great. The trailer was excellent. They're going to have him basically trying to bring Data back and possibly I think it was a Borg hybrid. I think that's what they're alluding to.
Oh, possibly.
That's what I was
well,
getting at.
Jerry Ryan's in the trailer, so
Yeah.
7 of 9 is
But
back.
she's still bad as
She's
fuck.
still bad.
God
She's in
damn.
Arrow for a hot minute.
Is she really?
Yeah, she looks just the same.
Man.
She just has longer hair. There's also, so I don't know if you saw the rumors swirling around, but apparently, if you saw season 2 of Star Trek Discovery, there's a very high, like a very probable possibility of the Picard series crossing with Star Trek Discovery. Holy snap! Jerry Ryan is still bad.
Yeah. That'd be kind of weird.
It'd be weird,
don't
but
know how
it's
it would
very,
go
very
down.
possible
I
if
think
you.
well, obviously, we already know that there's like time travel ship on the show.
Oh yeah,
So it's entirely within the realm possibility that we could see other Star Trek timelines come into the show, which I'm fine with.
Is Picard going to be part of
CBS All Access.
yeah.
yes,
Okay,
which will be
so-
which is problematic because their formula is like releasing an episode a week.
It's dumb. It's dumb.
So we'll see how that works out.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll tie into Discovery.
Yeah, but that's what I'm just.
But
mentioning.
Discovery's in the past, though.
Well, like
It takes place
you-
before.
You have to watch the
Yeah,
show.
you have to watch the show.
You gotta watch the show.
There's a clear path on how it can go into the future because there's.
Well, no, I know they can travel in time, and they can also travel dimensions too.
Well, it's not just that. There's a ship that's in the show that is in the future of Star Trek as well.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, I forget what was the name of the ship. You know what it is, right?
There's a couple of time ships. There's the Prometheus, which there's 2 Prometheus.
No, but there's one that's in the Discovery show. I think it was the second season, where it was maybe it was the first. But it was literally
Her suit does it.
Yeah, where it gets stuck in the future.
Oh yeah. I forgot the name, but her suit also does it as well.
Well, not her suit. Yeah, it was literally a ship.
Yeah, I know
Forget
what
the
you're talking
fucking
about. I
name of
can't
it.
remember
Yeah.
the name. It's not the Soyuz. It's something else. But
Yeah. Anyway, let's wrap it up. Stitch, what you got?
Pretty much I'm going to what have I been playing? Played some DayZ. They did an update with DayZ, which was really fun. Played some of the Division as usual. Kind of getting a little bit not say tired of it, but ready to find something new. So I'll probably pull out something out of the video game library and fuck with. I still have the last Tomb Raider game that I haven't finished yet.
Mine is still in fucking Saran wrap. I need to fucking bust it out.
damn, that game was fun.
Yeah.
Wait, what about your Rainbow Six?
Oathbreaker needs to be here so we can talk about that. But I've been going hard on Rainbow Six Siege. That's so much fun. And then got baby shit or whatever. Found out it's gonna be a girl.
You don't got baby shit yet.
Oh jeez.
Baby shit with girls goes in places that is. Oh Jesus Christ.
Good grief.
You ain't prepared, bro.
I've been calling it a Goblin or whatever because they did the little 4D ultrasound thing, and babies are cute in time, but when
Yeah,
that
not as
first
fetuses.
no that thing looked like the Green Goblin
Yeah.
or whatever. It had the big ass grin, and I was like, "What the fuck is that
Yeah,
thing?" I was like,
She'll grow. Don't worry.
"Yeah, So it'll fully develop and everything." So I've just been kind of laughing or whatever. But yeah, that whole thing's pretty excited. Did a tour of the hospital and find out pretty much where I'm going to be sleeping while she's doing the labor shit. And
Hold on, are you gonna pull a Prodigy, or I'm sorry, Oathbreaker, and not be in the room?
he was not in the room.
No, he was not in the room.
Jeez.
He couldn't deal with it.
If I could not be in the room, I would like to not be in the room, but I'm not going to be able to maneuver that, so I'm gonna have to
No.
be there. I'm not catching anything. I'm not cutting
Cutting
anything.
anything, yeah.
That's with the doctors and all those people that went to school and paid all that fancy money, and I'm
That you're paying them for, yeah.
That's what they're. When I go to a restaurant, I don't go into the kitchen and be like, I'm gonna cook the steak,
You
sir.
guys are fucking sissies. If I could have been there in the room, I would have been there in the room. I was in the room with. You know, it's funny. I was in the room with my adopted daughter, but not with my biological daughter. That's pretty
crazy.
fucked up. Well, because I was on a different fucking continent.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I saw my my cousin had her baby, and I think I talked about him before, but like I'm my cousin's kid's godfather, and like I was there for when she was giving birth, but when she gave birth, I stepped out of the room. I was like, I can't see this because this is my cousin. I want to see that part.
Yeah.
But like all they did was put like a curtain, like not even a curtain. It was like a partition. They put a partition from the door. And I'm just sitting there off to the side. I'm like, I wonder if the baby's been born. And I look around the corner and I see my cousin's legs spread open, her vagina and stuff. ripped the shit because the baby had just breached and like it was.
Oh shit,
Dude, it was like a scene from Carrie. It was so much fucking blood.
Scene from fucking The Boys.
It's pretty.
Yeah,
insane.
basically, yeah, basically the boys.
What's crazy is
dang.
that having a baby like, 100 years ago, was so fucking dangerous. It was insane, and people still had a bunch of babies, but it's just like, infant mortality rates and like mother mortality rates are like so incredibly high because people just didn't know how the fuck to deal with any kind of complications. Nowadays, you can deal with some super complicated, births. I mean, shit, K-Mag, she was a complicated birth. She had a congenital heart disease, and she survived. But back in the day, she'd have died.
Even like
That was a big
preemies.
discussion because Lilo had originally wanted to have like a midwife and all that stuff, and I was like, no.
That's a bunch of money.
I was like, well, that too, but I was just like, I was like, that in case something goes wrong or whatever, have the doctors there, everybody that needs to be just ready to fucking run up in the room and do whatever.
Well, the crazy thing is, I mean, midwives are pretty competent.
They are.
Yeah.
They handle their shit. They are very educated on the whole process, but I'm just like, leave it to the people in the coats.
Yeah, it's still better to have it. You know what's crazy is that back in the day, a hospital was a place you went to die. This is like facts. it wasn't somewhere you wanted to go.
Yeah.
Like rich people never went to hospitals. The doctor would just go to them. Anyway.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
All right, talk about Ninja. You say what you got?
No, I'm just gonna be this week just chilling, doing some gaming, trying to get back on the Destiny train because I went back to Apex Legends, getting in there.
My daughter's on there now.
Yeah, Apex has been interesting because they have like weekly and daily like challenges and whatnot. They're not like overtly hard, but they're still fun to do, which is weird. And then I'm debating about I still haven't gotten the Spider-Man DLC. I'm debating about it, but it looks like we're getting closer to the first DLC for Monster Hunter World, and there's a lot of people interested, and they're trying to get back into it. So they've been asking if people been asking if they want to squad up to
Fucking
get
game's
prepped.
garbage.
Well, that's one opinion, but there's been enough to get people back into the game because they're talking about squadding up and playing. So I played a little bit of Monster Hunter World. I'm probably going to be squadding up with some of the guys from the Culture Junkies and some of the groups that we're in. They're all talking about getting back in. So try to look out for more stuff on our Twitch account. And that's about it until the cons come up.
Yes, we have a bunch coming up. We have Silicon Valley Comic Con, and then also
Crunchyroll.
CRX coming up.
Yeah.
All right, Blue, what you got?
So like I said, like the Sweetness and I, we just got a house, so we pick up our keys hopefully on Friday. This weekend, we're not gonna move in for it yet because we're gonna have a few electricians come out and get some quotes on doing some wiring upgrades on the house. We're just taking our time with getting stuff done because the house, it needs a little work, but it's definitely very livable. But yeah, so we're gonna be doing like some gardening and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm super looking forward to moving into my first home that I own and not having to worry about paying rent. But this fucking mortgage is gonna be a bitch. But yeah, other than that, just chilling and trying to make some extra money to pay for this goddamn house. Oh yeah, so the reason why I needed the chairs was because we signed our documents inside the house and there's no furniture in there, so I needed some chairs for us all to sit down. But the lady we had that was a notary, she was a fucking bitch. Like, she was like total. I mean, I'm pretty sure she does this shit like every fucking day, and she's tired. It was already late, but she didn't have to be a fucking bitch about things. Like, whenever I asked her questions, she was like, and she had to like, because whenever she would explain something, she said it too fucking fast. And it's like, this is some important shit we're signing. Like, don't just be glossing over this shit. Like, I need to know exactly what the fuck I'm signing.
So, unfortunately, notaries, a lot of them are knowledgeable, but they are not actually required to like explain to you anything that's in the documents that you're signing. It's up to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand where she's coming from, but most notaries are pretty nice, and they'll explain to you to the best of their knowledge like what this stuff means. But
like,
it's really up to you to read all the.
One of the things I wanted to, I like asked if we can keep the pins because we're like signing for our first house. I'm like, hey, can we keep the pins? She's like, no.
Wow.
Like, we're signing, like, this is our first home. She thought, yeah, no. I was like, okay, well, fuck. Even when Kathy would ask her questions, she like gave an attitude. She was a bitch. But there was something else that was weird about her. But yeah, anyways, that's it.
Maybe she's jealous. Maybe she's a queen of spades and wanted your BBC.
Nah, she was a big Asian lady.
Maybe that doesn't mean she's not queen of spades, dude. What the fuck?
So, So I had a chance to play Plants vs Zombies Picnic.
Shit, I didn't even know that was coming out.
Yeah, I got on the alpha, which is kind of crazy
Shit.
for some odd fucking reason. And it's basically like the Plants vs Zombies Garden Warfare mixed with Overwatch.
Oh.
Literally, it was actually a lot of fun to play.
Nice.
I was really surprised. It's a third-person shooter, and this is the first time like I was playing a game where I actually played as a tank, and I actually wanted to play as a tank. And it was like the classes that you had to play. Let's see, there's both the plant side and the zombie side that had sort of similar classes, but they were different enough in their own ways. I ended up enjoying a lot of like playing as an acorn. So the acorn, this is how crazy this game is. You play as an acorn that has like very low life. It's like 75 hit points, and it can only do like some little kind of like bullshit attacks, but it can move pretty fast, right? And they have different size like classes. So like some are like basically Yoda size, other ones are like fucking huge size. And so with the acorn though, you would run around as like this acorn, and when you got close to the action, you could transform into this fucking tree. Like a gigantic fucking tree. And when you transform into the tree, you're slow as shit, but you're basically a fucking tank.
Nice.
And you have like 300 hit points, and you have like this acorn launcher, and then you can shoot out this other like sap thing that would basically like a grenade that you could throw it, and then you hit it again, it would blow up, cause a decent amount of damage.
Like a sticky grenade.
And the thing that was on top of that made it like even sweeter is that if somebody else was an acorn, they stayed as an acorn and not as a tree, they could hop on top of your head, and 3 of them could hop on top of your head, and you basically be like this fucking mobile platform just fucking shit up. So I was just like, dude, this is hella fun.
Nice.
So there was like some like stuff that was a little off, but it was the alpha. But and I just had a shitload of fun playing it as like, and they had like another guy that was like this a corn on the cob guy that would like shoot popcorn at people, and then when they want to reload, he would like basically reach behind his back and like pull out more corn. And so it was like so fucking silly but so fun. Yeah, if you get a chance to like check it out, the alpha just completed. I had a lot of fun with the alpha, especially at like an alpha stage. It seemed like pretty complete. I don't think it ever crashed on me, except for when I tried to what do you call it, like put it in rest mode. When I put my PS4 in rest mode, it wouldn't come back up, which is whatever. I just restarted the game. Other than that, I only had like a couple of drop matches. It seemed pretty stable playing the game. It was actually pretty amazing. It was fun. So if you get a chance to check it out, check it out. I definitely want to play the beta and see what changes they made. So
Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, Garden Warfare was pretty freaking interesting. Had a lot of fucking stuff in it.
yeah, this one seems like they made, because it wasn't just multiplayer. They had some PvE, PV, like straight up like, I didn't see the PvE part, but they had PV. They had what do you call it? Zone, fucking capture.
Territory.
Like, yeah,
Capture,
territory capture,
okay.
and then they had 8 versus 8, and they had like another like play area where you could just jump into like this area randomly and like fight people.
Okay.
So yeah, with like no consequences.
All right.
Yeah.
Seems good.
All right, so we are Black and Black times infinity. Dankest podcast on the internet. Check us out with at BTHANBTI on Twitter. Check out our official website, binhatproductions.com/BTHANBTI. Check us out on Twitch with BTHANBTI, and then on Amazon we have an app on there. Check us out on Radio Republic, Apple Podcasts, I guess, and Stitcher, Player FM. There you go.
We're everywhere.
Almost everywhere.
Ask your mama about us.
Oh, yeah, because we're on YouTube too. Got that YouTube money, I guess. Maybe. Black and Black times infinity on YouTube, baby. Let's go.